was raised up beneath the shade of Georgia pine, and that's all you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. And my house is not much to talk about, but it's filled with love growing in southern ground. A little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of Jesus if it's just right. With Maria, like to see the sunrise, see the Lord in everyone's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child. No mother's love. Well, it's funny how it's little things in life that mean the most. Where you live, what you drive, on price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on peace of mind. This I'm gonna know. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise a glass for a toast to a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of Jesus if it's just right. With Maria, like to see the sunrise, see the Lord in everyone's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child. No mother's love. Thank God for my life, for the red and white, may freedom forever fly. Let it rain, salute the ones that died, the ones that give their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like I treat right. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of Jesus if it's just right. In Maria, like to see the sunrise, see the love in everyone's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child. No mother's love, get your little chicken right. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of Jesus if it's just right. In Maria, like to see the sunrise, see the Lord in everyone's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child. No mother's love.
I know, it's a pain, but so then just like replies back. Oh, our pleasure. You know, like oh, really bad. I haven't had any surprise.
Oh my goodness. I do 3 days on, a day off, 3 days off. So I get to the week. So I have 4 days I don't have, and I get a break.
I got up and I slept on my couch last night. So get up.
Headed down south to the land of the pine, on my way to North Carolina. Staring up the road, I pray I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours. Bring me a book and I pull the flowers. Walk around me, I can see my baby's light.
The only part that might get fucked up is
So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Run from the cold and up to New England. I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. My baby plays the guitar, I pick the banjo now. All the North Country winds started getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. But I ain't turning back to the night. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like the southbound train. Hey, 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 mama, rock me.
So I don't know really the validity of this at all, but like going to her Facebook page then.
What is she, a stripper?
She's a stripper, but that's besides the point. But like, she talks about like, you know, lost wallet and everything. Yeah, okay, that ties in.
Walking to the south, I don't know. Cause the truck's around a billion and a nice long tour. He's headed west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee. I gotta get a move on before the sun. Hear my baby call her my name, and I know that she's the only one. If I die in Raleigh, at least I will die free. So ride me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Ride me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, 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 mama, ride me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, 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 mama, rock me. Hey, 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 mama, rock me. Hey, 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 mama, rock me.
She got sent at like 3:30 once it loads up.
Yeah, but why, how do you know it's...
Thank you.
No, not before the game, absolutely. But it's just so you know, it's there. When you guys, this actually also needs to be talking about it about it after the game. Keep me posted.
Wish I was on a rocky top down in the Tennessee hills. There ain't no smoke on the rocky top. There ain't no telephone bills. Once there was a girl on the rocky top, half belly or half cat. Wild as mink and sweet as soda pop. I still think about that. Rocky top, you will always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Once two strangers climbed on the Rocky Top, looking for moonshine still. Strangers ain't going back from the Rocky Top, I reckon they never will. Corn won't grow and all on the Rocky Top, just to rock my farm. That's why all the girls on the Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. Rocky Top, you will always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Now I've had years of cramping city life, trapped like a dog in a pen. Now I know that it's a pity life again, it's simple again. Rocky Top, you will always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Thank you. I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. And I wanna sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around. And I get a peaceful, easy feeling. And I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. And I found out a long time ago what a woman can do to your soul. Oh, but she can't take you anyway. You don't already know how to go. And I get a peaceful, easy feeling. And I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. I get this feeling I may know you as a lover and a friend. This voice keeps whispering in my other ear, tells me I may never see you again. And I get a peaceful, easy feeling. And I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing. I'm already standing. I'm already standing on the ground. Whoa, whoa. Thank you. The moment I looked into your eyes, my stomach turned to knots and my tongue got tied. Trying my best to say hello, nothing came out and I just froze, girl. You must have had a good laugh. The next time that I saw your face, my heart sped up like a NASCAR race. Running in circles, going nowhere. I was stuck on you, but couldn't find the gear. But then you walked right up to me, and we talked all night long about American muscle cars and your favorite Haggard song. We held hands, counted the stars. You leaned in close with a kiss that stole my heart. With a half bottle of whiskey to kill, we made time stand still. Well, I was spending my time 'cause I never knew that a girl so hot could be so good. Every minute of every single day, I'm thinking about you in every way, remembering the first night with you. When we talked all night long about American muscle cars in your favorite Haggard song. We held hands, counted the stars. You leaned in close with a kiss on my heart. With a bottle of whiskey to kill, we made time stand still. And we talked all night long about American muscle cars and your favorite action songs. We held hands, counted the stars. You leaned in close with a kiss on my heart. With a bottle of whiskey to kill, we made time stand still. With a bottle of whiskey to kill, we made time stand still.
Can you click on her picture? Yes, and make time for you. Yeah, she probably works in there.
She is. No, she's a stripper. No, like really, like, where is it?
Thank you very much.
We are just making out the picture.
You can tell. So, yeah, my pay was in there. Like, and she's at Brown. She has to be in there.
Yeah, but how do you know that your wallet was actually in your purse when you get in the cab? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I just don't understand, you know? Like, it might be stolen. Why are you blaming the people in the car? Like, if I know my wallet is in my purse and when I get out the cab it's not, then there's a problem. But this is the last shit we want to hear about right now.
Well, yeah, and she doesn't have footage from the cab. Apparently, she can't get it.
Yeah.
It makes me think it's just a.
Trying to get the money back. I don't know.
Do you think the team has money? You've not read the
That
paper.
was fake. Huh?
It's like you've not read the paper. There's no money here.
Yeah.
I don't understand the music. I don't understand the music one either.
Yeah, that's funny.
I kind of want to reply, but like we play music at all the
I
games.
feel like it's your first game. Was it your first game?
It's your first. They do it at all sporting events. Like don't go to a lacrosse game because they play the music straight through. Oh, so you mean this stream? Oh, sweet. Yeah, I put it up like half an hour ago. You're on it. Troy, what last game, right? It's gotta be perfect. Yeah. We've done our job now.
That's funny though. Like I'm just not happy that our plays were out. You know what I mean?
Well, like
Yeah.
Kevin Kemmer especially.
Yeah, come on, Cap. I could expect from him, but I wouldn't expect from him and Cap.
It's all rough. Oh yeah, man. It's all up. It's all good. I tried to put it up like 30 minutes ago because I was super bored.
That was I messed up with the time zone.
Yeah.
So I put it
I don't know. Yeah, the first game was the time zone. Last game was my screw up. I was able to fix it in-house.
yeah. What's happening now? Alright?
I'm even trying to read that person's message. Like, I don't know if they were saying that there should be no music or anything. Like, it's atmosphere.
She's funny.
saying something, wasn't I?
Oh, we just talking about the stream. It's out.
Oh, yeah, the time. I totally screwed up the time. Because I'm in my time zone, right? So I was like, yeah. And it once I left my room just now, I said, let me check that again. And it was like, games in 3 hours. No, it's not. Not 3 hours? So, yeah.
You're in that time zone for 7 days a week. How many months out of the year? Like,
Well, and the reality is, even there's been times I still mess it up from home. Oh yeah. It's happened. You know what? I just, it's a habit. Because actually, I changed because I had sweats on and I had like a t-shirt and I was like, you know what?
we got Ubers coming tomorrow, so finishing it before I came here. So, change shirt. No, I can't. Put on a fresh t-shirt.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Man, let me know. Good job this year. I think you did a great job.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm hoping that you and I can kind of get in touch. You're meeting with the I'd love to do that.
We're still trying to figure out a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And there's times where like, yeah, this would work perfectly. Like, that's not gonna work. And this was the missionary midstream. You know what you're just telling me now, okay? You can give me the championship trophy. Championship trophy. Yeah, he's gonna give it to me. Because it's gotta go to Windsor. Yeah, but he doesn't. But it looks funny when the owner goes, "Oh, I'm giving myself the trophy, right?" So he's like, "Here." And when you think about it, like, yeah. So
I got a book involved on the first iteration.
yeah,
Started bringing in some of this stuff.
mirrors.
Yeah. It's fine. When I was like,
You get the ring, you get a t-shirt, throw in a 3-week t-shirt, man.
Oh, that's it.
time in the present to try things. Sorry? I've got the averages and I've got the stats up. So no, I don't have the sheet. I don't know if we get it here.
Between your visiting Windsor and your visiting Windsor Express. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, inside Scotiabank Center here in downtown Halifax for Raymond playoff basketball. Today, Joey Haywood and the Atlantic Division champions Halifax Rainmen take on the Central Division champs, the Windsor Express, in Game 5 of the NBL Canada Championship Finals. The Express, with a bounce-back performance, winning Game 4, 109-105, tying the series 2-2 Friday night. I'm Vince Williams, and always joined by Sean Ritchie. Sean, tell us, what do the Raymond have to do to win Game 5, going back to Windsor to try to win this championship, because it's going to be a tough one from now in?
It's a best-of-3 series now, Vince. It's going to be an absolutely difficult series for, I think, either team to kind of pull away here. The Rainmen coming off a bit of a heartbreaker, 109-105. I believe the score was a little misleading. If you tuned in and you watched the game, you knew Windsor Express, they dominated from the opening tip-off, took the lead early. They never looked back. They got in a little bit of trouble in the fourth quarter. Halifax made a run, tied it up, but Windsor was just too hot that night. They wanted to erase the ghosts of memories past on that poor 70-point offensive performance from Game 3, and they did just that. So Halifax, now it's their turn to respond. But they're going up against a great team. Coach Jones with a big gamble. Sorry, not gamble, but a bit of a switcheroo there in Game 4. Kirk Williams Jr. in the starting lineup, and that paid off in a big way, Vince.
Absolutely right, Sean. I mean, in the two previous games here at the Scotiabank Center, they've combined for about 60 points. They've lost those games in those two games, the Windsor Express. But they look like a team that was together Friday night. They look like their heads were in it all the way through. They came out very hot. Their main guy stepped up, even a guy that they didn't expect to have a great performance. The least unexpected guy, Kurt Williams Jr., stepped up his game offensively, and he was definitely dominant, especially in the fourth quarter, where there was a couple breakouts that he actually got free for and pretty much allowed them to have that separation. In that game, we only seen one lead change and 3 ties. So the Windsor Express basically came out, controlled the pace of the game, controlled the game from start to finish. The Raymond got it close, tied it in the fourth quarter, but just used up a lot of their energy just to get it tied and didn't have enough to get over the threshold with the W.
Absolutely. Windsor was a runaway train, pardon the pun, on Friday evening, and Kirk Williams Jr. was definitely the conductor. You know, Kirk Williams Jr. had his biggest offensive output of the season on Friday. So when we talk about him being an unlikely candidate to lead this team, not taking anything away from the skill and the talent of a Kirk Williams Jr., but, you know, he, throughout the regular season, 10-point average, you don't really expect him to be that leader heading into the playoffs.
I pretty much would say probably his best offensive game in the league thus far. We don't know the exact numbers.
It was for this season. It was 36,
for sure,
36 points. We were looking more so for a Tony Bennett, Quinnell Brown, who also had great games respectively on Friday night. But yeah, if the Rainmen want to win Game 5 here and head back to Windsor on Tuesday night, they've got to contain Kirk Williams, but they have to be worried about the entire lineup for the Windsor Express.
Right.
We've seen big performances from a lot of their big guys, Tony Bennett, Quinnell Brown, DeAndre Thomas getting it done defensively. So the Windsor Express, although the point distribution hasn't been as spread around as it is for the Halifax Rainmen, their big weapons are putting more up on the board and helping them to get out to early leads and to hold on to those leads throughout 48 minutes of play, Vince.
And we got a big shakeup tonight as well for the Halifax Rainmen. Not in the starting lineup is Joey Haywood, along with the Raymond's undoubtable MVP, Kevin Young. Both of those individuals struggled from the field on Friday night. Kevin Young, 2 for 4 from the field, ended up with 7 points. And Haywood, 1 for 4 from the field, 25%. He ended up with 6. So Coach Claro's going tonight in the starting lineup with Saya Ando, Forrest Fisher, Tyrone Watson, Liam McMorrill, and Chris Cayole. Cayole led all Halifax Raymond scorers with 23 points. His best performance of the playoffs thus far, 8 for 21 from the field. He was 3 for 13 from downtown. So, I mean, the struggles were there Friday night, but is it Coach Claro sending a message to his team here? There is no one guy. We got to do it as a unit.
Absolutely. 3 fresh starters for the Halifax Rainmen from Friday night. McMorrow back in. Tyrone Watson and Forrest Fisher find themselves in unfamiliar territory. It'll be interesting to see, aside from Game 1 when he put up 14 points, Forrest Fisher, in a way, has been a non-factor for the Halifax Rainmen in this series. He hit a big 3 And he starts the game off with a big three.
Well,
so good on Forrest Fisher for making me look like a moron.
Well, Fisher knocking it down from beyond the arc. So thus far, it looks like the gamble by Coach Claros is paying off in dividends early in this game. Fisher gets the scoring on their way with the 3-0 lead for the Rainmen. Brown, shots too strong, rebound by McMurrow. Ando coming back the other way, trying to put pressure on Bennett. Bennett gets screened by McMurrow. Ando shot short, rebound by Bennett. Express come back the other way. Williams, the Commons from beyond the arc. Too strong, rebound by Fisher. Fisher puts it to Cayole. Cayole rises, fires, and bang! Back-to-back threes from downtown from Cayole and Fisher. And the Raymond are up 6-0. 5:52 left in the first quarter here in Game 5.
We saw this type of play from Chris Cayole on Friday night. He came out of the gate early with some big threes to help Halifax stay in it in the first quarter. So he could be gearing up for another big night here tonight.
And Bennett knocks down the triple. Tony Bennett coming back and cutting the lead to a one-possession game as Bennett had a good night shooting on Friday night. Finished up 19 points. He was 6 for 15 from the field. And Chris Cayole continues to be aggressive offensively with a nice take. And plays through the contact, and he'll give himself an opportunity to convert the three-point play the hard way. Cayole. Strong night on Friday night, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Lane violation on the Raymond, and Cayole unable to convert. So it's a 5-point game here. 8-3 Raymond lead early in the first quarter. Bennett closely guarded by Ando. Ando with a lot of contact there, and he's called for the blocking foul. And that's Ando's first. And first team foul for the Raymond. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Express ball underneath the basket. Brown will inbound it. Nice inbound play and foul on the inbound is Liam McMurrow from behind, as Kirk Williams Jr. was able to elude McMurrow with a nice screen. And then we've seen this a few different times in big spots of the game. When the Windsor Express inbound the basketball underneath their own basket, they're able to get a nice possession. We see some easy layups, a couple in the last game there by DeAndre Thomas in particular, where he came off a nice screen off the backside there, a nice set play underneath the basket the Windsor Express have. Raymond still haven't been able to defend that yet, Sean.
No, and I look for Windsor to utilize that here in Game 5 as well, and Liam McMurrow called there with the offensive foul.
And Liam McMurrow has lost his head in this one as he picks up a blocking foul on a screen, and that's his second personal. And he's got a technical foul, so that's 3 fouls on Liam McMurrow with 9:57 left in the first quarter. So Coach Claros has no choice but to go to the bench and probably bring in either Daly or Young or even Spikes. Not sure where Liam McMurrow's head is right now,
no,
Sean. Not a good play there, exchange on that one.
This was our real confusion with the starting lineup choice for the Halifax Rainmen. You've got a Liam McMurrow and a Forrest Fisher out there to start the game. Both guys are known for their aggression on the court and for drawing fouls. And it's a real head scratcher why Pep would put those two in this early on, and it's not paying off for him, as Liam McMurrow, like you said, already has 3 fouls, and we're only 2 minutes into the game here.
And there's no movement from the Raymond bench to get McMurrow out of the game. So Coach Claros continuing to gamble. Bennett, blow by, kicked out to Brown, back to Bennett. Bennett from downtown, shots too strong, rebound by Watson. Coming back the other way, and Cayole barrels right into Bennett, but Bennett probably about half a step late is called for the blocking foul. That's Bennett's first. You can see in the replay here as Watson gives it the outlet pass, and looked like Bennett might have been set Nevertheless, he picks up his first personal and the second team foul for the Express. Ando, Watson, dribble drive. Nice scoop move. Scoop layup there by Watson, and Watson getting it going early. He needs to be effective tonight. He was ineffective on Friday night. He was held to single digits on the scoreboard. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Then the Windsor Express, the 2 games they've won in this series, that has been a consistent. They've kept Tyrone Watson to single digits. He's always been a big producer for the Rainmen coming off the bench, and if the Windsor Express can continue to contain him in Game 5, it bodes well for their chances heading back to Game 6 with that 3-2 series lead.
And Chris Cayole knocking down his second consecutive three-point shot from beyond the arc. And that stretches the lead to 13-6 with just under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Raymond lead. Watson draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Raymond, not the same offensive performance from the charity stripe as they did in Game 3. Struggled, left 14 points on the board there on Friday night, shooting 30 for 44 from the charity stripe. So if you put that together and by the deficit that they lost, if they would have been able to at least, made up at least 90%, they would have shot from the free throw line, they probably would have been in the game or even won it.
Well, both teams had subpar performances from the free throw line in Game 4. Halifax, as you mentioned, shooting 68%. Windsor Express only shooting 71%. But those stats hurt Halifax more, only losing by 4. If you make a couple more from the line, yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe you send it in overtime and it becomes a whole new ballgame.
So Watson makes 1 of 2. Nice defensive play on the back end on Cornell Brown. Raymond looking to run. Fisher from beyond the arc. Shots partially blocked. Watson gets the rebound. Hooks no good. Rebound by Brown. A lot of contact as Watson hits the deck. Brown coming back the other way. Closely guarded by Watson. Brown drew a little contact. Didn't get the call, but he's able to finish at the rim. And he's complaining for the and one. Raymond had numbers coming back the other way. Watson, teardrop, no good. Commons drew a little bit of contact, but he gets the rebound. Chris Commons now to Ryan Anderson. Anderson, closely guarded by Fisher. Anderson looking for a screen, crossover, kicks it out to Kurt Williams Jr. Three-point shot's no good, but he's pushed into the Raymond bench by Liam McMurrow, and that's number 4 on McMurrow. And I think Coach Claros has obviously no choice but to get McMurrow out of this game as Jermaine Daly comes in for him. Probably a personal too late for McMurrow.
It really speaks to the Windsor Express. They've been able to get in ahead of Liam McMurrow all throughout this series and have him make these stupid mistakes, drawing these fouls really early on to get him in the Halifax Rainmen in trouble. So hats off to the Windsor Express for doing that. Coach Claros now on the floor, and he's a very passionate coach. He's known for doing this, but it's a championship series. You got to contain yourself. You got to let the guys play. This is, we had a lot of fan reaction on Twitter from Halifax Rainmen fans, and a few from the Windsor fans as well, that the whistles from the refs, slow the pace down of the game. Coach is doing this, slow the pace down, and it's a championship series, Vince. You gotta be more professional than this.
I've stated my case quite to the point in Game 3 and especially in Game 4, to the point to the officiating and where the rules are for how far the coaches can go when talking about foul calls and other things inside the structure of the game, and it just takes away from the momentum, as you mentioned. All the personal fouls, all the calls, all the stoppage plays, all the extracurricular activity after each whistle, when the guys coming together with the arguments, with pushing each other. The officials need to make a statement. They need to gain control of the game from the opening tap. If they allow it to brew and allow it to you guys get away with it, they're going to try to get away with it. Players are going to push, the rules to the brink until they can't get away with them no more.
Yeah, so Kirk Williams hits 3 from the line. Forrest Fisher responds for the Rainmen, sinking his 1 attempt. Cliff Klingscales now is checked into the game for Saya Andow, and the General is looking to get something going on the court, help Halifax increase this 4-point lead, 15-11 right now with 7:50 left in the first quarter.
Chris Cayole now. the Clint Scales. Clint Scales looking for a screen, gives it to Watson. Watson with the blow-by on Parham. Lost control of the dribble, and he's called for the double dribble, and that's a turnover for the Rainmen, and we express possession. Commons to Bennett. Bennett now controls the ball, crosses the timeline, closely guarded by Clint Scales. Get the screen from Parham. Bennett to the corner, wide open Loisel. Loisel from downtown, no good. Last touch by the Express, and it'll be Rainmen basketball. Probably a little bit out of the range of Kevin Loisel.
Yeah, but it was a good shot for him to take, wide open, nothing but time and space, and yeah, it might not have been the best guy to take that shot, but Windsor Express smart to do so.
Fisher, pump fake on Anderson. Fisher rises, bam! Fisher from downtown. So Forrest Fisher knocks a triple down, 18-11, Raymond lead, 7:06 left in the first quarter. Anderson back the other way, too strong, rebound by Daly. Daly outlets to Clint Scales. Clint Scales directing traffic, looking for a cutter to the rim. Gets it to Watson. Watson loses the handle momentarily. Clint Scales gets it back. Fisher, the nice first step off his dribble, was able to get Anderson in a position where he had no choice but to reach in, and Ryan Anderson picks up his first, and it'll be the Express 15 foul.
And Vince, with that last three-pointer, Forrest Fisher's hit 7 on the night. Already his second best offensive performance in this series. He's only had 5 and 3 points respectively for the last 2 games.
So Coach Clairol's gamble and starting Forrest Fisher and Tyrone Watson has been paying dividends early in this game as both guys are performing on the offensive side of things. Bennett gets bottled up by Daly. Spin move, shot's no good. As it was short there, and Parham picked it up, and his attempt got blocked, knocked out of bounds by Tyrone Watson, and Coach Jones was looking for a foul. But Friday night's game was a lot more physical earlier, and they let it go throughout the game. So I think the trend is continuing here in Game 5 as Kevin Young checks in the game, and Tyrone Watson will go to the bench.
Be interesting to see the officiating when we get back to the WFC Youth Center on Tuesday night. See if that those referees can have a little bit more control over these players.
Anderson's shot's too strong, but picked up by Parham, and Parham extends the possession again for the Express. Bennett tried to split the defense, lost the handle. Loisel picks it up down. Loisel looking to be aggressive, drives the basket. Can't get the shot to go, but picked up the harm, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Kevin Loisel has done a pretty good job in the first 2 games being around the basketball and being very physical. He does the little things for this Express team. He's not going to hurt you on the scoreboard or on the statistic sheet, but he does those little things, rebounding, hustling, and defending. Quality minutes for Coach Jones is Kevin Loisel, the product from Dawson College.
I'm noticing early on the Halifax Rainmen seem to be playing a bit better defense than they did in the opening quarter on Friday's loss. They're not afraid to kind of get in front of the Windsor guys and really fight for that ball. You know, for the first 3 quarters of Game 4, that seemed to be an issue for Halifax. They weren't rebounding as well as they did. Oh, big block there.
There's Loisel there, return the sender off the backboard. Good help defense by Loisel as he was able to knock down the 2 free throws, and that's what he gives you, that type of effort. He may not be the biggest guy, he may not be the most gifted guy offensively, but what he does bring to the table is his effectiveness and his toughness. He's tough on the defensive end, and he's tough on the offensive boards, and he's a guy that's going to get in your face and physically challenge you.
So as we go to the media timeout now, 18-13, Rainmen lead with 5:51 left in the opening frame. Already we've seen 12 fouls in total from both teams. Halifax leading the way with 7, Windsor Express with 5. Just as we go to the timeout, Cliff Clinkscales obviously fouled Kevin Loisel. So, yep, physicality of this game is what we expected. Hopefully both coaches can get a wrangle on their guys, and maybe we can see a bit bit cleaner of a game going forward.
Well, some guys don't want to be wrangled, as was indicative in the
right.
first 3 minutes with Liam McMurrow picking up 4 personals and pretty much not going to Coach Claros is not going to have his services, I would say, until the third quarter. If all things play out here.
Yeah, no, I don't think we'll see him until the later stages of the game. Agree with you there, Vince. But, you've got guys like Spikes and Daly to back him up.
Yeah, they got to step up.
And Spikes has been having a great series. Liam McMorrow's kind of he's been neutralized by this Windsor Express team, but Nigel Spikes has stepped up in his place. 10 points, 7.5 rebounds average over the first 4 games. Those are good numbers from Nigel Spikes, a guy who's used to coming off the bench and was thrust into the starter roles for game 3 and 4 after McMorrow went down with injury.
Yeah, those are big numbers, as well as Jermaine Daly with 6 points, just under 7 points per game, and close to a double-digit rebound. So combine those 2 efforts by the 2 big men. That's good offensive productivity for Coach Claros. So he's definitely going to have to tinker with his lineup without having the services of Liam McMorrow, I would say, until the fourth quarter here. As Loisel will go to the line to shoot 2. The Raymond are in the penalty for the remainder of the quarter. Loisel misses the first. And he makes the second, so that's 3 points on the night for Kevin Loisel. Clint Scales picked up by Parham inside to Daly. A nice feed there to Daly. Daly cut without the basketball. And a good lob pass inside by Clint Scales. 20-14 now. 5:31 left in the first quarter. Raymond lead. Ryan Anderson. And a hold inside the painted area. Looks like a double foul is being called on Kevin Young and Chris Commons. And once again, the fireworks start to flare up after the whistle between Commons and Kevin Young.
You have a lot of boisterous personalities on this Halifax Rainmen team, guys that don't really like to stay quiet. So for Windsor to do these small little things after the whistle, maybe when the refs aren't looking, that's smart basketball in a championship series. Draw the ire. They know Halifax is in the penalty. Try and take advantage of it.
No back down mentality by both teams. As DeAndre Thomas checks in the game, as well as it looks like Quinnell Brown. So going to the bench is Parham and Chris Commons. And that personal's on Joey Haywood, and Kevin Loisel will go back to the line to shoot 2. Loisel knocks down the first. Loisel looking to be very aggressive this afternoon offensively. Strong on the second, tipped around, rebound by Anderson. So another extension of the possession here. The Express doing a good job of offensive reboundings early. Raymond struggled defensively. Anderson, pump fake, rises, shots no good, rebound by Young. Young back the other way. Tony Bennett steps in his way, knocks it away, but Tony Bennett gives it up. Coming back the other way is Clint Scales to Haywood. And it looks like Quinnell Brown will be called for the contact. And Haywood will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Kevin Young just, overexcited on that play there. Didn't have a great handle on the ball. Windsor saw it, picked their spots. Unfortunately, didn't work out for them. And now Joey Haywood going to the line, looking to increase this to a 7-point lead right now. Halifax up 20-15, 4:57 remaining in the first quarter.
Haywood knocks down the first. If you can take any positive from Friday night for his performance, he was 100% from the field, knocking down from the free throw line, 4 for 4. Finished up with only 6 points. But you like to see Haywood be aggressive offensively. You know he's going to have a good night if he's driving to the rim, looking to attack the rim and attack his defender, open up his mid-range game where he's very effective around 15 feet away from the basket, knocking that mid-range jumper. Brown, shot's no good. Rebound by Haywood. Haywood behind the back dribble, crosses the timeline, gives it to Clint Scales. Clint Scales swings it to wide open Young. Young short on the shot. Anderson comes back the other way for the Express. Bennett takes Haywood, swings it wide open. Anderson, bang! And from downtown, Ryan Anderson, standstill jumper, cuts the lead. 22-18, 4:18 left in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Raymond continue to lead.
Halifax got caught napping on that play and paid for it. You can't leave Anderson open from three-point land. He's going to hurt you every time.
A nice cross-court pass there, and recognizing where the open teammate is Tony Bennett. Bennett's been doing a pretty good job distributing the basketball in the last two games here. There's another foul on Kevin Young. It's his second, and now we'll put Cornell Brown to the free throw line to shoot two. So the Express continue to be aggressive offensively, forcing the Raymond to guard them individually, and they've been doing a good job of that, and getting to the free throw line and getting some easy opportunities here as Cornell Brown knocks down both. And a substitution here as Gibson and Ellis will make their way onto the court for their first minutes here this afternoon as Cornell Brown goes to the bench along with Ryan Anderson. One possession game here now. 22-20 Raymond lead, 4:05 in the first quarter in game 5. Clint Scales, closely guarded by Gibson. Clint Scales, a blow by. Try the swing at the Young, but the quick hands of Jamarcus Ellis knocks it away, and another turnover for the Raymond. Ellis, the aggressive move with the left off the window, can't finish. DeAndre Thomas with the rebound, and he is mauled by Tyrone Watson and gives Watson the strongman pose in, saying we've seen these two guys collide in game 4.
Yeah, you know, DeAndre Thomas trying to throw the guns there. I think you'd have to be a little bit more defined and strict in your gym routine to do that. But I get the message. Very wise. Try to get in the head. Halifax Raymond had 12 fouls so far in the first quarter. So anything you can do to get them, you know, more angry and more make these dumb mistakes and send your team to the line, so much the better. So, yeah, well done by DeAndre Thomas.
Thomas misses the first. I like that expression. Define your gym game. refine
I'm
your
the last
game.
person that should be talking about that, but Tyrone Watson's a very defined man in his arms. So, anyways, back to basketball.
He misses both. There's DeAndre Thomas. Still a one-possession game here. Clint Scales. Floater. Watson can't convert. Rebounds picked up. Loose ball by Ellis. Brett's back the other way. Gibson crossed the timeline. Gibson draws the double team. Swings at the Bennett. Bennett inside the DeAndre Thomas, trying to back down Daly. Nice spin move and finish by DeAndre Thomas. That's what the big man gives you, that nice touch around the rim.
And he won't have Liam McMorrow to contend with until the later stages of this game. So smart move, keeping DeAndre Thomas out of the starting lineup. They can utilize him now without fear of getting into a big battle with Liam.
DeAndre Thomas had a good night offensively Friday night, 5 for 8 from the field, finishing up the night with 12 points. And was in a very positive frame of mind. Good karma on Friday night for the Express. Turnaround jumper's no good, though, on that possession as Haywood drives and gets the finger roll to go. Reverse layup. Raymond getting into the open floor, looking to push the basketball and get some easy opportunities back the other way transitionally. The thing that they didn't get the opportunity to do in Game 4 Friday night.
Yeah, and hopefully for the Rainmen, Joey Haywood looking to make this a big three-point play. Make it 25-22 right now. They're sitting 24-22. Kevin Young checking back into the game for Halifax. PJ Foster seeing his first minutes. He's replacing Cliff Clinkscales. What I wanted to just touch on real quick, Vince, if I could, we saw Cliff and Kevin try to hook up earlier in this game without any success. That's been something the Windsor Express have done a great job of shutting down, is that pairing. It's been so hot through the regular season, the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Windsor Express have really shut them down, and it's affected Halifax's play.
And a nice dribble drive penetration shot off the window, attacking the rim is Jamarcus Ellis. 1 point game now, 25-24, Raymond lead. Ando, shot too strong off the window there, rebound by Williams Jr. Gibson drew the contact there on Ando, no call, but picked up by P.J. Foster, who's checked in the game for the Raymond. Foster controlling the tempo here, directing traffic. Foster still with it, swings it to Young from beyond the arc, shot short. Young tries to chase after his shot. Loisel gets it, kicks it out to Williams Jr., and a nice run out there by Williams Jr. as he drew the contact, and that looks like a clear path foul called on the Raymond, so Williams will go to the line and shoot 2, and they will still regain possession of the basketball. So a good heads-up play by Kevin Loisel, and Kurt Williams Jr. has been doing it the last 2 ball games and continuing into the third here at Scotiabank. The ability when that shot goes up, he's already making his way down the court the other way, and we've seen it late in game 4 to help this Express team close the show with his ability to get out in the open floor and get those easy opportunities with those outlet passes. Something the Raymond need to make an adjustment on for sure.
And Kirk Williams just ties the game up there at 25. Successful only on 1 attempt from the line. But Windsor will get the ball back with 1:25 left in the quarter, looking to take a lead here.
There's Gibson. Guarded by Ando. Gibson looking for a screen from Loisel. Can't get it. Gives it to Anderson. Anderson closely guarded by Foster. Nice spin move on Foster. Kicked out to Ellis. Ellis jumper too strong. Misses everything, and it goes out of bounds. And a nice defensive possession there by the Raymond as they're able to rotate and close out on Ellis, and Ellis's jumper too strong there. So nice defensive play there, and the Raymond will look to regain the lead here late in the first quarter. Just under a minute to go. Haywood, penetration. Draws the contact on Loisel, and Haywood will go to the line and shoot 2. So Joey Haywood continuing to be very aggressive, not settling for the jump shots, and looking to take his defender off the dribble. This is his 3rd trip to the free throw line for Haywood. Knocks down the first. I'm looking to see, I want to see Haywood and Young respond, not being in that starting lineup. And you can see by the aggressive play early here for Haywood, he's responding in a positive way. That's what you want to see. The coaching staff want to see that.
Joey Haywood coming off the bench, and he's already got 7 points on the night, so maybe this is a good move for Claros to bench to send the guys a message. And still waiting to see Kevin Young kind of come out and respond in a bigger way. He's been held off the score sheet so far.
Loisel now tries to blow by Watson. Watson, a good job moving his feet. Loisel with the short shot blocked by Kevin Young. Fisher coming back the other way. Fisher rises. Thought about it, gave it up to Foster now. Foster directing traffic, shot clock dwindling. 10 seconds on the shot, Raymond gotta go. Haywood driving, drew the contact on Williams Jr., and Haywood will go to the line to shoot 2 more. 20.9 seconds left in the first quarter. Raymond lead by 2, 27-25. Joey Haywood looking for number 8 and 9 points on the evening. Finish up game 4 with only 6 and has responded coming off the bench in the reserve role. Haywood misses the first and continues the hot shooting from the charity stripe. He's perfect on the afternoon.
So now Joey Haywood with 2 from the line, 9 points on the evening, 7 of them coming from the free throw line. But when you get 22 fouls in the first quarter, Vince, you're going to see a lot of trips to the charity stripe.
Exactly. What can you expect, right? So Gibson now across the timeline for the Express. They'll hold for the last shot. Inside of Loisel. Loisel takes a look at the game clock here as he's trying to back down Watson. Drew the contact, shot's no good. And that's the end of the first quarter. Rainmen lead, but it looks like a foul was called before the clock expired here. Loisel's call for the personal, and the Raymond will get a couple free throws at the end of this quarter. So not a good move by Loisel, missing the shot and fouling on the other side. Oh, excuse me, that was on Jamarcus Ellis as Chris Cayole misses the first.
Yeah, Chris Cayole hasn't missed too many of those, so it's
that's pretty surprising.
surprising.
To see him miss. He knocks down the second. So 1 of 2. 5-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Raymond lead 30-25. Lots of fouls, lots of opportunities from the charity stripe from both teams. Coach Claros continue to juggle his lineup and get guys in and out, as we mentioned. Young and Haywood not starting the game and going with Fisher and Watson. Liam McMurrow was forced to the bench early because of foul trouble. Some extracurricular activity after the whistle as he picked up 4 personals in that first quarter. That's a rarity in basketball. I can't remember the last time I watched a basketball game and seen an individual player pick up 4 personals in the first quarter in any level.
Tune in for the NBL Canada for the fantastic action on the court, and stay for the wacky craziness sometimes you experience after the whistles. You know?
We've seen a lot of things here in the NBL Canada that I have not experienced on any other level. But nevertheless, it's still the quality basketball here. The top two teams in their respective divisions and throughout the league. The Windsor Express, the number 1 seed, as well as the number 2 seed, the Halifax Rainmen, here in Game 5, fighting it out for the 2014-15 NBL Canada Championship crown. Scotiabank, the last home game of the season, Sean.
Yeah, the last home game of the season for the Halifax Rainmen, and if you're not part of the Halifax community, you may have missed a lot of articles going out about teams' attendance woes in the regular season, early on in the playoffs. So there's a lot of talk. Is this maybe the last last basketball game for the Rainmen here in Halifax? That remains to be seen in the offseason. But we're not focusing on that tonight.
Yeah.
We're focusing on Windsor Express on
Absolutely.
their road to repeat, and the Halifax Rainmen on their journey to their first championship here, not only in the NBL Canada, but as a team overall. Of course, this team playing the season with the American Basketball Association, as well as a few seasons with the PBL. So championship success has eluded them. They've put together a very strong group of guys this year. Definitely their best chance, I think, to win a title in any league since the inception in 2006.
Well, just to finish that thought up, I did a story on the Halifax Rainmen when they got to the championship final, and I spoke to the CEO and owner of the team, Andre Leviston, and he said emphatically that this team's going nowhere. It's staying in Halifax.
Good, that's good to hear.
Back to the action, start of the second quarter here. Express possession as Commons is looking to back down. Young kicked out to Gibson from beyond the arc. Too strong, kicked around, rebound as Haywood comes back the other way. Haywood, Clint Scales now. So the Raymond going with Fisher, Clint Scales, Haywood, Watson, and Young. Small lineup for the Raymond as Kevin Young's pretty much the center with these 5. Coming back the other way for the Express, Anderson, Gibson, Commons, Williams Jr., and Cornell Brown. So small ball all the way around. Not a bona fide center on the court with the 10 guys out there fighting for the championship here.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Coach Jones not put DeAndre Jones into his starters here in the second quarter, just for a little bit to try and get Windsor back on top and take the lead. He's got no fouls going forward in this game, so they can utilize them all they want. And Kevin Young gets the shot off, but no good. Windsor will take it back up court.
Anderson with the rebound, and leaking out again is Kirk Williams Jr. Can't convert though. Try to find Brown cutting down the lane. Clint Scales, wide open jumper, fired, bang. Not converting is Fisher. Fisher steals it momentarily, but Williams able to get it back, and Fisher is called for the personal here as Williams Jr. will go to the line to shoot two. And that's Forrest Fisher's first personal and the first team foul of the second quarter here for the Raymond. 10:48 left. Raymond still lead by 5. Williams Jr.'s first is no good, too strong. And he makes the second, and that's 6 on the afternoon for Williams Jr. And checking back in the game for the Express is Tony Bennett, and Cornell Brown will go to the bench. And Coach Claros combats that move with Chris Cayole coming in for Joey Haywood. Raymond possession now. It's the Express looking to pick up full court here. It's Gibson on Clint Scales. Clint Scales across the timeline. Directing traffic, gets a screen from Watson. Watson cutting towards the rim. Nice move and conversion by Watson. So you see Watson continue to be aggressive and moving without the basketball and not hesitating and blown by his defender and finishing at the rim. Something he struggled with Friday night, finishing, Sean.
He had a poor game Friday night. I'd say probably his worst of the season. So he'll be looking to respond in a big way here tonight. And so far he's got 5 points on the night. Well on his way to kind of hitting his average of about 16 points.
And Tony Bennett.
Oh, and there's a whistle.
Knocks down
behind
the triple.
Cliff Kingskills there. Kevin Young going to be called for the foul.
And that's Kevin Young's third. Tony Bennett, 2 for 3 from beyond the arc tonight, has 8 points for the Express. So Coach Claros has to go to his hand again as Shuffler keeps shuffling this deck, and his top guys are continually to get into foul trouble as Kevin Young. And that's a technical foul on Kevin Young. So Kevin Young loses his head, and that's the 4th personal on Young as him and Chris Commons got into it.
What can you say? It's just the two guys that were the kind of cornerstone for this big run that the Halifax Rainmen are, the guys that arguably got them to this point, seem to have regressed so much in their basketball maturity here, in the first quarter and in the first 2 minutes of the second. Halifax has a slim 32-29 lead as Windsor goes to the line, looks to cut into it. And they can't afford their, quote unquote, their best players to be acting like this. And so hopefully Coach Claros can lay the discipline down in the changing rooms, in halftime, because if they come out like this in the second half, it's a Windsor game.
Well, not a lot of discipline being displayed by the Halifax Rainmen in the last 2 ball games. As you mentioned, the 2 guys that were very effective getting this team to where they are have not been playing disciplined basketball. As Commons tried to split the defense, and he's called for too many steps. And it's a turnover there and a missed opportunity for the Express here to tie the ball game. 1 possession game still, 32-30, 9:53 left in the second quarter. Raymond lead. Clint Scales trying to cross over Gibson. Clint Scales to Fisher. Fisher, nice fake and pull up, fires beyond the, and that's a 2 as his foot was on the line as Forrest Fisher was able to elude Tony Bennett with the nice shake and bake move and first step and rises for the jumper. Fisher, some pretty hot shooting early here for the Raymond. Commons from beyond the arcs, no good. Rebound by the Raymond coming back the other way. Clint Scales.
So in the first 2 games here at the Scotiabank Center, the second quarter is really where the winning team has pulled away and created some distance. The Windsor Express heading into the half, 57-49. On Friday night, Halifax en route to their big 30-point victory. lead heading into halftime in Game 3. So, I think at the end of this quarter, might have a good idea of who's going to be in the driver's seat. It's historically for these two teams, the second quarter has been a big one.
Jermaine Daly now through the free throw line, and he'll hit the first of two. Daly knocks down the second, 4 on the afternoon. Daly finished up Game 4 with 6 points, and a nice lob city there between Gibson and Kurt Williams Jr. as Kurt Williams Jr. once again getting free without the basketball. His ability to move without the basketball, get himself in good scoring position has been paying dividends for this Express team in the last 2 ball games. Bennett fires, shot too strong, rebound by Daly. As the Raymond dodged a bullet there with Bennett with a wide open look. He's already 2 for 3 from beyond the arc tonight. And an errant pass inside, exchange between Jermaine Daly and Clint Scales, and that's a turnover for the Raymond. And Ando checks back into the game for the Raymond as Clint Scales will go to the bench. 4-point lead, 8:32 left in the second quarter here. Gibson hands it off to Bennett. Bennett hands it off to Anderson. Anderson turns the corner. Loisel with the quick move, but it was too quick and outside of the rules, and that's a traveling call for too many steps as Loisel tries to plead his case to the officials. Ando. Fisher gets the screen, rises, fires. Shot's too strong, rebound by Anderson. The Windsor Express dodged a bullet there as Fisher's having a hot night, and Bennett back the other way with another wide open look. Too strong, can't convert. Ando, nice crossover and finish at the rim. Ando taking what the Express defense is giving him.
Ando, I think, is going to be looking to rebound from a subpar performance by his standards on Friday night, especially down the stretch. The Rainmen started to rely on him a little bit more, and he didn't seem to rise up to meet that challenge. So, as Loisel bounces back and gets big 2 for the Windsor Express, I'll be looking for Ando to have a better second half. Rainmen right now 38-34, 7:22 remaining in the second quarter. Game 5 inside Scotiabank Center.
Loisel with 6 on the afternoon for the Express, and the Raymond turn it over here, and it'll be Express basketball. It's a good defensive stop there for the Express. Gibson handling the basketball here, crosses the timeline. Anderson now looking for a screen. The corner, spin move, splits the defense, kicked it out to Gibson. Gibson trying to elude Ando. Ando some good individual defense now. Gibson splits the defense between Ando and Daly, forces the triple, but it's no good. Cayole coming back the other way, draws the contact and finishes through the contact and converts the front end of an and one here. It's a nice move and crossover, and beating his defender was Cayole. Cayole will go to the line to shoot one, excuse me.
And DeAndre Thomas now checking back into the game for the Windsor Express. They're going to definitely be looking to utilize his big physical presence and really bounce around the Rainmen. Both teams have had difficulty offensive rebounding tonight. Express only pulling down 3 offensive boards. The Rainmen only 1 themselves. So hopefully DeAndre Thomas maybe can give the Windsor Express that extra little bit of oomph.
How many offensive boards for the Express?
They have 4. Correction to my last.
And Cayole can't convert the 3-point play. He has 11 on the afternoon. 4 Geez, they look like they had 4 in the first 5 possessions of this game. Shots too strong for Ellis. Ellis got the rebound but couldn't convert the second chance. Watson rebound now. Foster gathers that. Ando fires, no good. Rebound by Cayole. Momentarily, that's stripped away though by Bennett. And Bennett coming back the other way for the Express. And Ando call for the blocking foul. That was a good call as Ando's a little bit late there, trying to step in front of Tony Bennett. Ando's second personal. And the Raymond's 4th team foul here in the second quarter. 6:05 left, 6-point lead for the Raymond, 40-34. So we have a stoppage in play here as they try to clean the floor up. Ando hit the deck. Raymond playing a good team basketball right now. Their big guns on the bench, relegated to the bench because of foul trouble.
Well, most people all year that have watched the Rainmen, especially since that big change that came in late January, know that the Halifax Rainmen do have a deep bench. As P.J. Foster with a great defensive play there, tips it out. It will be Windsor ball with 13 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, the reserves pay big dividends. And I like to use that word, dividends, for the Halifax Rainmen. As last game, if you look at the stat sheet, they had 49 points from their reserves compared to 27 of the Express. 3-point shot forced by Williams misses everything, and Fisher comes back the other way for the Raymond. Foster fires from beyond the arc, and he is fouled by Anderson, and Foster will go to the line to shoot 3.
And Anderson pleads his case to Coach Jones there, but right from our vantage point, Vince, we had a clear line of sight. That was a good call by the referee. Contact was clearly made.
Well, he's definitely preaching to the choir, as Coach Jones has no relevance on reversing that call. He may want to talk about it with the officials, but it's not going to be reversed, as Foster will come back out of this media timeout to shoot 3 free throws. So what does Coach Jones have to do when making some sort of adjustments here with 5:38 left in the second quarter, Sean, and trying to really steal 2 games here and go back to Windsor looking to win consecutive championships in Game 6.
It's only a 6-point game right now. Halifax having a 40-34 lead. Aside from Game 3, all of these games have been close affairs. So this is familiar territory for both teams. Coach Jones right now, the guys are playing well. They're not getting some of the offensive rebounds that they were getting in Game 4. They're not getting those second chance opportunities. So maybe you work on that. You've got DeAndre Thomas out there now. That's going to give you a big hand, especially heading into half, when you know Kevin Young and Liam McMorrow won't be seeing any court time. So the Windsor Express obviously would like to be ahead at this point. I think they're in a good position, though. They're definitely, by no stretch of the imagination, out of this one yet. So we'll see what the next 5 minutes and 38 seconds brings, what both coaches can do to adjust their teams at halftime. And hopefully, Vince, we'll have a much cleaner second half of play. Even the second quarter's been a little bit better, only 8 fouls called between both teams. So obviously, words were said at the first break.
Yeah, lots of flow here, and that's what we like to see, especially in a championship series. You want to see the flow of the game, and this is a high-scoring league. Points put people in the stands. Everybody loves to see offense.
Yeah, nobody comes to a basketball game to see the defense. You want to see those highlight reel dunks, pretty finger roll reverse layups, and some heart-stopping three-pointers. And the NBL Canada from Mississauga to PEI produces that every night.
Unless you're attending an association game and you're going to the United Center, you know exactly what you're in for. You know Coach Thibodeau is going to enforce defense on his guys, so you're going to have a low-scoring affair. First shot is good for Foster. Foster knocks down the second. Foster had a strong game in game 4. 4 for 7 from the field. 4 for 6 from beyond the arc, finishing the night at 12 points. PJ Foster, the product of Limestone College, knocks down all 3. And that's his first points on the night. He has the 3 points that he made from the free throw line. 43-34, Raymond lead. Gibson. Williams inside to DeAndre Thomas, trying to back down the smaller Watson. Watson rises, good defense there. Knocked around. Jamarcus Ellis had control of it, but lost control of it. It'll be Raymond basketball. Ando, hesitation on Gibson. Gibson trying to stay in front of Ando here. Foster picks it up now. Foster blow by on Bennett. Gives it to Cayole for 3. Cayole can't knock it down, and Gibson comes up with the rebound. Williams Jr. now with it, trying to back down Cayole. Off the window, no good. Rebound by Watson, so good. One and done there on that possession for the Raymond. Foster, blow by, crossover, can't get the conversion off the window, but he stays with it and steals it from DeAndre Thomas. Outstanding hustle here by P.J. Foster.
P.J. Foster has really stepped his game up in the finals here. We're used to seeing him play limited minutes, but Coach Pep's really been relying on him a lot more in the later stages of the Storm series, as well here against the Express. Tyrone Watson with a pretty basket there, and it's an 11-point game right now. Halifax up 45-34. Timeout's called on the floor. 4 minutes, 12 seconds left in this quarter, Vince. Since the immediate timeout, it's been all Rainmen.
Yep, absolutely. P.J. Foster with an outstanding hustle play there, and great job of handling the basketball, being very patient, and Tyrone Watson cutting without the basketball with a nice teardrop in the lane. Watson has 9 on the afternoon for the Raymond after struggling in game 4, and only 1 for 6 from the field with 6 points. So bounce back performance here for Tyrone Watson.
Yeah, he's not the highest scoring Rainman tonight, but he's been doing a lot of other things already so far. 8 rebounds for Tyrone Watson, 2 steals, 3 assists, contributing in a big way.
Watson usually in the reserve role here for the Raymond. NBL Canada Canadian Player of the Year. Arguably could be the 6th man of the year for sure. I'm not sure if that award has been given out or it's even an award that is rewarded to anybody in this league. Sean, you would know more than I would.
I don't believe it is.
It is. It should be one.
I can't remember if it is or not.
Every other league around the world has that award, and if there was one, it would be Tyrone.
Did you not talk to Audley Stevenson about this when he was on Friday?
He's coming on. He's coming on in the third quarter again.
Bumped again. That's
so
fine.
I'm gonna have to ask him what's up with the 6-man award, the Lou Williams award. How come we don't have one in the NBL Canada? We probably do. We just don't know who got it, or if we know for sure if there even that award exists. But somebody out there in the
You're rambling, Vince.
in the Twitter world or online world would know.
That'll be Halifax ball.
No, I'm just saying it should be an award. But yeah, getting back to the action here, a lot of physicality displayed by DeAndre Thomas. That's his first personal 5th team foul for the Express, and he'll go to the bench as Coach Jones, brings back, looks like Kevin Loisel. Isaiah Ando now with possession here for the Raymond. Gives it to Foster. Cayole. Nice crossover on Williams and finish at the rim, Chris Cayole. Very aggressive, picking back up from game 4 where he led all Raymond scorers with 23 points. Cayole. Ando's called on the baseline for the blocking foul. That's Saya Ando's third. And Raymond's 15th foul. Bennett and Williams, communication cross up here and turns it over, and it'll be Raymond possession. As Clint Scales checks back in for the Raymond, along with Haywood for Foster and Ando.
And Foster getting a great reception from some of the fans here at Scotiabank Center, as he should. You know, he may play limited minutes. He doesn't see the minutes that usually a Ando or Clint Scales does, but when he's on the floor, he's a great weapon for the Halifax Rainmen.
I do agree. He does give quality minutes for Coach Claros. Watson can't get the baby hook to go as two defenders were there to challenge him at the rim by the Express. Ellis, shot no good. Gets the rebound, though. Second chance opportunity. That's no good as Cayole secures the rebound. 47-34, just under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Game 5, NBL Canada Championship Series. Express and Raymond. Watson, though, gets the rebound. Draws the contact by Kevin Loisel.
He went hard into Loisel there.
And he is still down, feeling the effects of the contact, either the contact or the contact with the floor. Tyrone Watson is a tough customer.
Absolutely.
We haven't seen him. We've seen him a few times on the deck, ailing from some sort of ailment, but he's gotten up and performed.
We haven't talked about it too much in this series, but I know when we called the Moncton and the Island Storm games, you know, we said it a handful of times. Tyrone Watson with his average of about 60 points a game. Those are hard points that he earns every time. He's going to battle in the paint. There's no easy basket for Tyrone Watson, and I don't think he wants one.
Yeah, jump shots are not coming. They're not at a premium for Tyrone Watson. Most of his points are, like we said, throughout the season have been inside that painted area, just shooting anywhere between 50 to 60% from the field.
Now, P.J. Foster going to be checking back into the game as Tyrone Watson being attended to by the trainers. Well, I'm sure they'll look at him at halftime, and we'll be seeing Hamilton's finest again for sure.
It looks like he's trying to shake his right elbow or either his left elbow, either one. He's in some discomfort right now as Foster knocks down the first. And he knocks down the second. 49-34 now. 2:51 left in the second quarter. Coach Jones is whispering to the officials because his voice is not very loud. I'm not sure if they can hear him.
Oh, we've got headsets on and we can still hear him. So I'm
well,
sure
from this distance we can, but the official's gone back the other way, about 10 to 15 feet away. Maybe that's why he likes to get very close to the officials. As once again he's out. Look at the path that he just took during that timeout. He was chasing down the officials.
Well, Coach,
I love watching Coach Jones and Coach Claros.
Coach Jones, like Coach Claros, is a very, very passionate and energetic man. And it goes back to what you said, though, Vince, and a lot of fans have been talking about what is perceived as inconsistencies in officiating are really getting to both these coaches because they believe their teams are not getting the fair shake. And that's, I think, why we're seeing a lot more of a heated response from both guys in this series. I'm not saying it's justified or not. I have my own opinions, which I'll try and keep out of this.
Yeah.
You can check my Twitter account at RichieSW.
I can definitely say I've witnessed Coach Jones. I've seen him a few times when he's with the Oshawa Power when he coached them. I'd seen him. He's got the same style of play. The way he manages the game. He likes to walk the court. This is not new. He likes to walk the court. Makes sure he covers a lot of real estate of the court. I've seen that a lot from Coach Jones. So this is nothing new. You may be seeing it for the first time in these last few ball games, but I've seen it a lot. That's got that mentality.
I have seen.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I've seen Coach Jones before with the Oshawa Power, of course, and I missed all of last season. Being outside the country for 7 months, so I didn't get a chance to see too much of the NBL Canada action. So I think this intensity might be just a little bit new to me. Not new to you. I'm sure it's not new to the great Windsor fans who are watching.
I'm
through
trying
their
not
Coach
to
and
laugh.
Co affiliates or with us on YouTube. And thank you for tuning in.
I'm wondering where he's going. Like, he's way outside the coaching box. Like, he's almost making his way towards the Rainmen bench. He's trying to get in on that discussion, I think. Just love seeing that chess match. And then if you look down at the Rainmen bench, him and Coach Claros and his assistants, Pedro Montenegro, they're always like standing up and looking at each other and talking about who's got to go in, who has to come out. Like, it's just, it's just.
Why are you talking to him?
And Bennett now with the Express coming back the other way, misses the shot, but it's kicked out. And Gibson corrals that loose ball. Gibson fires, shot no good, rebound by Daly. Raymond come back the other way. Raymond leading 49-34. Just under 2:30 to go here in the second quarter in game 5. Cayole blow by on Loisel. Left hand no good, but he draws the contact. Jamarcus Ellis will be called for the personal. Chris Cayole will go to the line to shoot 2. Cayole 14 points on the afternoon, continuing the hot shooting from game 4.
The frustration's got to be building and mounting for the Windsor Express right now. They haven't got a basket since before the media timeout at 5 minutes, 52 seconds in the second quarter. That's a long drought. Halifax has opened it up. It's a 49-34 lead right now. Chris Cayole makes it an even 50 for the Halifax Rainmen. We talked about this earlier in the quarter. The second quarter has always been the indicator in these games. So if that trend is to continue, it's looking good for Halifax right now.
And Cayole finally knocking down consecutive free throws as he's pushed his total to 16 on the afternoon. 51-34. Just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter as Jamarcus Ellis draws the contact on Forrest Fisher, and Ellis will go to the line to shoot 2. As Watson checks back into the game, shaking his right elbow. So it looks like the ailment that he suffered on that exchange here when he was last time he was in the game, it looks like it's coming from his right elbow, Sean.
I'm surprised he's back in the game already. I would have expected to see Tyrone Watson take a little bit more time, have the trainers assess him, and then come back in the third quarter. It was never a doubt that he would be back. He's a very tough player, both in physical and mental.
As Ellis knocks down the first. Knocks down the second. Jamarcus Ellis, 4 points on the afternoon for the Express. 51-36, just under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Clintscales stolen there momentarily by Williams Jr., but last touch by Williams Jr., and it will remain Raymond possession here.
Great defensive pressure by the Windsor Express. There's 13 seconds left on the shot clock. If they can keep it up and try to get Halifax to make some of those uncomfortable shots like they did in game 4 down the stretch, then they can close this gap.
Cayole fires from beyond the arc, shot no good. Rebound by Fisher, and a nice play there to Watson, cutting without the basketball. Great recognition there by Forrest Fisher. Watson now has 11 on the afternoon. Ellis with a tough jumper on the baseline. Nice jumper by Jamarcus Ellis, and he has 6. So Ellis putting the onus on him offensively to pick up the slack for the Express. Clintscales. Good individual defense there, forced turnover by Gary Gibson. So that's the stop they needed to try to cut into this momentum of the Raymond for the Express.
Yeah, a quick 4 points, closing the gap here. Slowly but surely, but yeah, anything to stop the momentum of the Rainmen will do wonders for the Windsor Express right now.
Jamarcus Ellis trying to back down Fisher. And a nice floater there by Ellis. So the Windsor Express have found something offensively in 3 consecutive possessions as they are looking for the offense from Jamarcus Ellis. As he's able to get the shot to go in the lane on Forrest Fisher. Cayole fires from beyond the arc. Bang! Chris Cayole, another wide open look.
How do you get your momentum back? Quick three from Chris Cayole. He is really stepping up into a leadership role on the court tonight, and I think he's reveling in it.
Cayole, 19 points on the afternoon. As Clint Cayole is called for the reach. 56 to 40 now, 16-point bulge with 34.7 seconds left in the second quarter. This one slowly but surely starting to get away from the Windsor Express, as Tony Bennett will go to the line to shoot two. Bennett with the first. Bennett knocks down the second. So he has 10 on the afternoon for the Express. 14-point lead now. 34.7 left in the quarter. As Foster checks back in for the Rainmen. So it's Haywood, Foster, Watson, Fisher, and Cayole. For the Express, Gibson, Loisel, Williams Jr., Ellis, and Bennett. Watson now trying to back down Gibson. Kicks it out. Wide open Cayole. Fires. Bang! Chris Cayole. Back-to-back triples. He's got 22 on tonight. Whoa. Coach Bill Jones needs to make some major adjustments defensively on Chris Cayole come this second half, as Loisel was able to finish off of the Bennett miss. And Loisel falls like a ton of bricks, and he just baited Forrest Fisher into a personal. I saw it all the way.
That's what Windsor needs to get back to doing. Is the first quarter play, they were in Halifax's head. They were getting fouls. They were, calls were going their way. Get back to doing what was working.
That was an Academy Award-winning performance on an individual shot by Kevin Loisel. I watched it the whole way between him and Forrest Fisher, but Forrest Fisher didn't show any type of restraint in not getting baited by Kevin Loisel.
Forrest Fisher's a passionate player, and yeah, you can pretty much bait him any day of the week. But as we go into the halftime break here, 59-44, Vince, a real quick look at the numbers. Chris Cayole, 21 points through the first 24 minutes of play. He had 23 all game 4. So it's
an outstanding shooting performance. Hot shooting here by Chris Cayole. 7 for 9 from the field. 3 for 6 from beyond the arc.
And both coaches now remaining on the court. Pep Claros talking to the refs. Coach Jones just standing there, arms crossed.
Not sure what this is all about. I mean, it's halftime. Jamarcus Ellis is going to the line to shoot the technicals here.
What a country.
As he hits. So we don't have the official score yet in the first 24 minutes. But it's the NBL Canada. Stranger things have happened. We've seen some different things here. He knocks down both.
59-46 now at the half.
So that's the half. Over the first 24 minutes, 59-46, as Sean mentioned there. You're watching Raymond basketball, playoff basketball on the YouTube channel here at Game 5 of the NBL Canada Championships. We'll be back after 15 minutes.
Hopefully you fans haven't gone anywhere, because although we're about 5 minutes into the halftime break, Kevin Loisel is coming back out to shoot 2 from the line, as the fans here in Scotiabank Center really let the referees having it. Loisel makes his first. And he'll miss the second. So for the third time, the official score is 59-45 here inside Scotiabank Center. And we'll be back in 15, folks. Thanks.
That's the right score, but it doesn't have, or it's not, it doesn't have that last free throw.
What's that? Like, lies on the ground, and you mean it?
know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay much to the demons, they fill you with fear. The troubles that might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home. Finish with a quick song. I'm heading to Nashville in June to do a recording. This is what I'm going to record. The moment I looked into your eyes, my stomach turned out and my tongue got tied. Trying my best to say hello, looking down and I just rose, girl. But I had a good life. The next time that I saw your face, my heart spelled up like an astronaut breeze. Running in circles, going nowhere. I was still on you, you couldn't find me. Then you walked right up to me, and we talked all night long about American love songs. In your favorite had a song. We held hands, counted the stars. You leaned in close with the kisses to my heart, with a half bottle of whiskey to fill. We made time to dance.
Welcome back to Game 5 here at Scotiabank Center between the Halifax Rainmen and the Windsor Express at the half. The Rainmen lead 59-45 in Game 5. Series tied 2-2. The Windsor Express were able to capture Game 4 with a convincing performance, bounce-back performance by the Express, giving themselves an opportunity to go back to Windsor and win it on their home court. Joined now by NBL Canada insider, the man, the myth, the legend, all of those things. You put it all together, he is one. Audley Stevenson. Audley.
I should add your running mate, man. We went out last night, had a good time. I appreciate you for taking care of me. Vince, show me the nightlife of Halifax. I appreciate it, my man.
Just a little bit, and I'm not a guy that usually goes out too much.
Hey, we had a good time.
Anyway,
first off, big shout out to the people in Halifax for taking care of me. I love coming out here, and every time I come to the East Coast, it's nothing but good times. So hospitality is bar none. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, no problem. Now I got to talk to you about a few things that are on the table here, in particular to the league itself. Me and Sean were debating about in the second quarter, wondering, does the league have a six-man award? Is there such an award as a six-man?
Yeah, there's a six-man award. This year it was won by, I'm drawing a blank here. It was won by, oh my goodness, Omar Strong for the Mississauga Power.
There you go.
He won the Six-Man of the Year award.
Wow, and I'm surprised that the guy that loves the Mississauga Power did not know that one
Sean,
of his
what
guys
happened, man?
did won the award.
Omar Strong.
Slipping, eh? Slipping.
The guy, you got an Omar Strong screensaver. You know what I mean? I didn't even know he won a Six-Man of the Year award. The guy set all kinds of three-point records.
There you go.
He scored 50 billion points in one game. There we go. There you go.
So Omar Strong, congratulations, Omar.
And listen,
you are the sixth man. We were talking because I was talking about the debate here with Tyrone Watson possibly winning the award. But nonetheless, moving on.
Guys, for the record, we already give out the awards. There's no more awards talks. There's no more awards to be given out here, man.
But the championship, that's the only
well, that's the last one that's left. That's the last one left.
But moving along here, we talked about competition and the competition between, you know, in particular, I got a real good question and reasoning to how the officials are going to wrangle in some of the coaches and their liberties of the coaching box. There doesn't seem to be a coaching box in this league. It's pretty much, if anything happens after the whistle, if there's a fracas, even if it's in the furthest corner of the court, each team's coach can go out there and assess the situation.
There certainly are some things that need to be looked at for sure, without question. Liberties, as you mentioned, coaches walking the floor. I got you loud and clear. Yeah, it's you know, we talk about sort of the league and process and growth, and
I love it.
These are things that we got to look at.
It brings a lot of color to the game because I love seeing, especially I've seen Coach Jones do his thing since he's been a coach in this league. He's probably walked more miles than any visiting coach in this league, him besides Michael Ray Richardson when he was with the London Lightning. But I think Coach Bill Jones has taken the cake, and he's definitely had his feet on every inch of this court. But getting back to the game, and Coach Claros too, he likes to walk too. But getting back to the action here, started the third quarter. Raymond still leading 59-46 now. Watson with the putback, and it's good. Tyrone Watson definitely had to be in the conversation of that six-man award that Omar Strong won.
That's right.
Of the Mississauga Power, as Watson got himself his own award, which would be the NBL Canada Canadian Player of the Year.
Cornell Brown, he's a little quiet in that first half.
Brown,
attacks off the glass.
Yes, Cornell Brown, definitely. They need Cornell Brown if they're going to have any chance of coming back.
He's got to be the MVP. He's got to be the MVP.
Exactly, and he has got to start playing like it. He's been getting MVP performances from other guys in this league. In this game and in this series, from number 32, who has to be their MVP right now, is Kirk Williams Jr.
Yeah, he's continuing that strong play we saw in that last game. Pretty solid first half from Kirk. You know, in terms of energy, you know, a lot of the stuff that he doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, but you got to love what he brings.
61-48, just under 11 minutes to go here in the third. Ando fires a no good rebound by Anderson, coming back the other way for the Express. A hobbling Tony Bennett finds a wide open Mr.
We just said
Kurt
his
Williams
name.
Jr.
He must
who's-
have heard us.
The guy he's beating his defender up and down the court on mostly every possession. That's what he's been able to do, exploiting the Raymond's defensively in the transition. Watson can't get it to go, but the putback tips there is by Liam McMurrow. So Coach Claro's rolling the dice and inserting McMurrow back into the starting lineup. McMurrow with four
fouls.
personals. Quick, and looks like he's going to pick up his fifth.
Wow.
As he only played, just take a look at the officials' stat sheet here. He's only played 4 minutes of this game.
I mean, to a certain degree, I think Liam might have taken himself out of that game mentally. We saw that contact early in the first quarter. This is a must game for Halifax.
Absolutely.
Halifax does not want to go to Windsor, as I'm sure you've talked about already. They do not want to go to Windsor hoping to get 2 games.
No, they want to go back hoping to just steal one.
This is
steal the championship. This is a must-win situation for both teams, really, if you look at it. The Express would like to go back to Windsor being up 3-2 and
Sure.
only needing to win 1
Sure.
and not have to force their hand and try to win 2.
Game
And on the
7.
other side, like you said, Halifax looking to win 1 here and go back 3-2, trying to steal 1. So Williams knocks down both of them. And it's an 11-point game now. McMurrow had to go to the bench with his 5th personal. McMurrow playing a combined 5 minutes in this game. So the services of McMurrow have been not there for Coach Curls, and a nice spin move and finish in the lane by Quinnell Brown.
Kirk Williams with a steal. Nice push. Finds Quinnell for the score.
Quinnell starting to heat up here in the second half.
He must have heard us too.
63-54 now. Fisher rises. Shots partially blocked there by Commons. Coming back the other way, a wide open look at the goal and slam dunk by Quinnell Brown. They're on a 6-0 run here as the Windsor Express. As they cut into the lead, it's a single-digit lead now. 63-56.
What was 15 has been cut.
Ando looking to force the offense and get the ball inside that painted area. He picks up the foul on Kirk Williams Jr.
I thought it was a really interesting first half. You saw Windsor come out in that first quarter and really assert themselves, and Halifax responded beautifully in that second quarter. And you saw going to the half that 15-point lead, and it's a tale of quarter to quarter, it seems, with these two squads. So far, Windsor is asserting themselves here. They come to that 50-point lead, but Forrest Fisher with the 3.
Yeah, Forrest Fisher knocking down the jumper. Fisher inserted into the starting lineup for the Raymond this afternoon. He has 11 responding for Coach Claros. Williams now trying to beat Daly off the dribble, and he's called for too many steps.
One extra step.
And it'll be Raymond basketball as Kevin Young is looking to get into the game here, and he's in, and
He's another guy.
Watson will go to the bench.
Kevin Young's another guy that needs to have a really productive outing when he's out here.
Yeah, Kevin Young is struggling in the last 2 ball games, oddly. 0 for 3 in the first half and with 0 points, and he also had 4 personals.
That's it. And, there was a lot of mental stuff going on, a lot of game inside the game, if you will, on both clubs' part. And I think Liam and Kevin sort of were
they're victims of it,
They were victims for sure.
And
I drew a blank there. The word was at my tongue and it wouldn't come out. I appreciate you.
Trust me.
Save.
Trust me, I draw a few blanks myself throughout the telecast, but we continue. The one thing I've learned in broadcasting school and in journalism school is you continue on and and you pretend that the audience is not paying attention. They're forgiving. They're forgiving. It's a forgiving audience.
I mean, what word was he trying to say again?
Hey, we know what he's trying to say. It's that part of the live stream where you guess the word.
That's it. That's right. Don't they have game shows like that?
Exactly.
And you can win money? Why not do the live stream?
Well, you can't win any money here, but hey, you can have a few laughs.
No shortage of that.
Anderson now hands it off to Bennett. Bennett to Brown. Brown, nice crossover on Ando. But Brown is called for an offensive foul, rightfully so there, as he used his off arm to gain some space and set that separation between him and Ando.
Ando's checking to see if his nose is still there.
It's Ando. Crosses the timeline, guarded by Bennett. Hands it off to Fisher. Fisher looking for a screen, blow by Bennett, but a nice
find.
give and go. Two-man game,
Beautiful.
slam, dunk in the lane is Jermaine Daly. You called it a beautiful offensive set there by the Rainmen. 67-56, 7:55 left in the third. Williams Jr. rises and bang.
Oh, wow.
For two, Williams Jr.
Continuing a strong play. Captain Kirk.
Is that his nickname, or you just gave it to him?
No, I don't give nicknames. I roll whatever I hear.
Okay,
So.
Captain Kirk it is. And he's definitely playing like a captain in the last 3 ball games here for the Express. Lob pass is a little too strong inside the Daly as Young was looking for a tip by the Express defenders. But that's a turnover and coming back the other way out of the Express.
Get the ball up quick.
Ryan Anderson, blow by on Fisher. Nice look inside the Williams. Williams can't convert. Bennett thought about the triple. Now Commons. And fired for 3 is Bennett, and it's no good, too strong. And Ando with the rebound, and he's coming back the other way. Ando, nice spin move in the lane, left-handed finish.
Saya Ando with the nice finish at the rim.
That was a sweet kiss off the window there by Saya Ando with the spin move in traffic.
That might end up on an NBL Canada highlight reel. Who knows?
Coming back the other way is Cornell Brown, and the putbacks there is good for Kirk Williams Jr.
Kirk's at it again.
Starting to heat up, and only a 9-point lead here for the Raymond as both teams are exchanging baskets. Young shot too strong. Anderson coming back the other way, a one-man fast break. Anderson all the way to the 10, can't get it to go. Putbacks there by Chris Commons.
When you've got a guard that can rebound and push the ball up the floor, that transition offense makes it tough for the D to stay in the game.
7-point lead now for the Raymond. Ando.
Good ball
directing
denial.
traffic. Ando draws a double team, kicks it to Young. Young tries to get the floater to go, and the tough shooting continues for Kevin Young, and rebound by Anderson. And a technical foul called on Coach Claros. As you can see now, the officials are starting to gain control of this game.
They have to, and you know what? They've got the toughest job out there. That first half, it was physical beyond belief, and they could have blown the whistle every other possession. And I give them all the credit in the world for making a go at this, because it has not been an easy game to officiate. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of that bravado. There's a lot of that tough ball going on there, and they got to blow the whistles.
Absolutely, we witnessed a very auspicious ending of that second quarter, where there was some confusion to who shot
the free throws.
They awarded Jamarcus Ellis.
At one point, he looked at me.
He knocked down both,
free throws.
and I was like, well, the foul wasn't committed on him; it was on Kevin Loisel. They got it corrected.
Right.
Took the points off the board,
right.
And Loisel was able to knock down 1 of 2. So, a lot of confusion there at the end of that half. I mean, it took more time to figure out what transpired than what happened in the last 2 minutes of the real game.
It took a bit, but
they got it right. That's the main thing.
They got through it, and we now have a 7-point advantage for the Halifax Rainmen. 5:59 left on the clock. Again, must-win game. We're at the point where every game is must-win. And,
absolutely. Must-win situation as they draw closer to that elusive 4th W and crowned 2014-15 NBL Canada champion. Now I'm going to go out on a limb. This is our last broadcast here at Scotiabank.
It is.
Of the year for the Raymond and this organization. I'm going to ask you this question. You
boy.
may want to answer it or you may
boy.
not. You've been around the league. You've seen the teams. You've seen these two teams battle it out here and in Windsor. Who do you think's going to get it done when it's all said and done?
What makes that question so tough for a whole bunch of reasons is that you've got two of the best squads, and they've demonstrated at different points of the season why they are the best squad. Halifax has proven that they can go there and get the W. They did that earlier in the series, so playing on the road isn't a problem for them. At the same time, the Windsor Express have had a phenomenal showing at home this season and also play quite tough. So it's almost like close your eyes and pick them almost. It's that serious of a tough of a choice rather. don't have a definitive answer for you, my man.
Okay, well, it will continue, and we will find out sooner than later who will be the crowning champion of this season. As Anderson was able to knock down the technical, he has 4 on the afternoon, and Jamarcus Ellis checks back in the game for him. Commons trying to back down Daly. Commons loses the handle, and it'll be Rainmen possession.
Miscommunication. He thought he didn't realize that Jamarcus Ellis was cutting. He puts normally you throw the ball where your player is gonna go.
69-63 now. Just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Game 5 here at Scotiabank. Ando directing traffic, trying to elude his defender in Williams. Fisher closely guarded on Bennett. Inside to Watson. Watson trying to back down Brown and draw the contact, and Watson with the strong move, cutting in the paint. Tyrone Watson, 11 points on the afternoon now, shooting 5 for 10 from the field.
He saved that one, but definitely great move to the basket.
Kirk Williams Jr. trying to return the favor now. Kicks it out to Commons from downtown. Too strong, no good. And a rebounding foul as Jamarcus Ellis was going to get beat to the ball to that loose 50-50 by Forrest Fisher, but had no choice but to pull him back.
That's it. He did. You know, a guy we haven't talked much about, at least since I've been sitting here, maybe in the first half he did, Christopher Cayole, and the job and outing that he's done. And you know what? He's going to get my Player of the Game award right now.
It's quite easy right now as he's leading all scorers with 21 points.
And counting. We will be calling his name before this is said and done a few more times.
Watson drew the contact, was able to split the defense there and arc his body to not draw the charge, but picks up the personal on Kirk Williams Jr., and that's a big foul. That's the 4th on Kirk Williams Jr., as Watson will go to the line to shoot 2.
You got to love the way Tyrone Watson invites that contact, absorbs it, and still gets the shot off.
Watson 1 for 2 from the charity stripe this afternoon. Makes the first. He's been pretty Mr. Dependable from the charity stripe in the playoffs. Struggled throughout the year, just over 50% in that category. Makes the second. Watson does, and Watson's got 13 on the afternoon. Raymond leads 73-63, 10-point lead, 4:38 in the third. Bennett. Ball's knocked away, picked up by Ellis. Ellis crossing over Daly, drives left, draws the double team, shots no good, rebound by Fisher.
That was a tough shot attempt there. Halifax's defense stood tall and firm.
Cayole can't get the drive to go off the window. Rebound by Kirk Williams Jr. as the Express were able to dodge a bullet there, and Raymond had numbers. Bennett, floaters partially tipped, but the continuation there of the defense and the contact on Bennett's arm by Watson, so it'll give Bennett an opportunity to shoot 2.
The shot was affected. Was it because of foul or tip? It's hard to tell from here, but the rest made the call.
Now, once again, our vantage point's a good vantage point, but not the best as we're in the front row, second row.
Hashtag blame Mavs Gillis. Can't see over him.
Hashtag blame local cable.
I got nothing but love for local cable, man.
As Bennett knocks down the free throws.
You're going to get us kicked off of this, man. You know that?
Makes 1 of 2, Bennett, from the line.
For the record, that's Vince Williams, capital V-I-N-C-E. Williams.
Yeah. You can look up my Twitter, Vince William CTV.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Not a local cable provider. Bell Media reporter.
Oh, my goodness.
The #1 maritime
Back to the action.
newscast.
Back to the action. We got a whistle here.
73-64, 3:52 left in the third. Game 3. NBL Canada action here. Halifax Rainmen and the Windsor Express. Ando fires.
And
Bang! From beyond the
hand
arc
in the
is
face.
Sayando.
Saya Ando's come up big, different moments in this game, and that a big three.
And
with
that's
Chris Combs, the outstretched arm.
That's 5 on the afternoon for Sayando. Ando, though, picks up the blocking foul on Bennett as Bennett continued to be very aggressive, but he's limping a little bit. Tony Bennett is.
He's been limping for half a season, I'd say.
Well,
He's a
you've
tough
seen him
warrior.
more times than I have.
He's a warrior. He's a warrior. Speaking of warrior, Kevin Loisel is coming into the battle.
We talked about Kevin Loisel and his contribution for this Windsor Express team. Coach Jones has a lot of faith in his abilities to be very physical defensively.
Yep.
And when the offense and the opportunity comes, Kevin Loisel has done a pretty good job of handling the moment.
You certainly can, and you love that type of player that can give you a little bit of both.
Bennett knocks down both. He's got 13 on the afternoon. It's still a 10-point lead. Just under 3:30 to go here at Scotiabank in the third quarter. Clint Scales kicks it to Cayole, fires,
There's
bang,
that guy,
from
Chris
beyond the
Cayole.
arc.
That guy, Chris Cayole, once again, we're talking about a guy that's playing on his third team this past season and found a role here in Halifax and has done fantastic.
4 for 7 from beyond the arc, 24 points on the afternoon. Clint Scales, too strong, goes after his own rebound, can't handle it, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Raymond. It'll be Express basketball, but Cayole, great pickup on the offseason.
Absolutely.
By the CEO, Andre Levinston, recognizing his abilities.
Well, no, it wasn't
to
the
knock down
offseason.
shots.
It wasn't the offseason.
Oh, my apologies.
He didn't make it through training camp with the Island Storm. He was traded to Brampton.
Okay.
Brampton then traded him here to Halifax Rainmen.
I'm glad that you're here right next to me to explain this to me and correct it.
I'm just doing what I do, my man.
You're the insider and I'm not.
I'll put you in. I'll open the door and let you in whenever you're ready.
It's just up to me to step through it.
That's it.
And here comes Bennett now for the Express. Closely guarded by Clint Scales. He rises. Shots too strong. Rebound momentarily is handled by Haywood. Last touch by the Raymond. As Kevin Loisel was battling between Haywood
Halifax
and Daly. But that's what Loisel gives you.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And that's why he's in there.
Loisel now. Luden Daly. Blow by. Gets it stripped away, though. And Haywood, a one-man fast break. Can't split the defense. And coming back the other way is Kirk Williams Jr. Blew the first one, but gets the tip. Looking for the contact is Coach Jones, as I can hear him from here, but the officials may not be able to hear him. Watson, spin move on Williams. Finger roll, no good.
Spilled out.
Anderson with the rebound and control of the basketball now. Anderson. Too many steps as Tony Bennett was hollering for the basketball. There's nobody guarding Bennett. And Anderson tried to get a better shot, but it took too many steps in a turnover here as Kevin Young comes back for the Raymond. And Daly will go to the bench. And Bennett will go to the bench. And Gary Gibson is inserted into the lineup. His first action in the third quarter in the second half here.
You got to like the way Halifax has responded to the Windsor run in this third quarter.
Haywood to Young, back to Young, back to Watson.
Beautiful give and go. Beautiful give and go.
Textbook give and go there between Young and Watson.
Pretty, very pretty.
Tyrone Watson, 15 points on the afternoon as he struggled with 6 in game 4. And Watson steps up in the lane and takes the charge there, taking one for the team, excuse me, as Cornell Brown was able to blow by his defender, but ran right into a brick wall in Tyrone Watson. 81-68, 1:17 left in the third. Raymond continue to lead. The Windsor Express have not led in this game. Clint Scales. Closely guarded by Gibson. To Young. Young trying to take Loisel off the dribble. Does.
That's what he needed.
Crossover. Loisel just couldn't stay in front of Young.
Klink wants some noise. Klink Scales beckoning to the crowd for some noise. Kevin Young, great move to get the and one. Great individual move right by Kevin Loisel. And he is hyped. And he's jacked and he's pumped.
And that's what the Raymond faithful have been accustomed to all season long, but haven't had the luxury in the last 3 games here at Scotiabank. Kevin Young's usual offensive performance. The Windsor Express have done a pretty good job of neutralizing Kevin Young and not allowing him being a major factor, but this should be a starting point in the right direction for Young as he's able to convert the 3-point play, and that's his first 3 points.
Biggest lead of the game.
Of the night, 84-68. Commons trying to take Young off the dribble. Hook's good.
Great move. Great response. You know what? You're not going to get the 16-point lead back all at once, one basket at a time.
Chris Commons showing good energy after a night off in between games.
Yes.
Between these two teams.
That's right.
Watson drives the basket, and it's last touched by Watson, so good defensive stop there. An individual defense there by DeAndre Thomas, who's checked in the game for the Express.
Listen, having that day off in between is great for all players involved. And you know, you talk about Commons, Kevin Loisel as well, another guy, great energy. So he's got that good rest.
14-point lead for the Raymond. DeAndre Thomas ran into the good defense there by Tyrone Watson. Watson giving up a lot of physical attributes between him and DeAndre Thomas.
He is. He's holding his ground.
Watson, 6'5", 230 pounds from New Mexico State. DeAndre Thomas, 6'8", 300 pounds from Robert Morris College. Gibson and Watson's there again defensively.
Watson has been the man thus far. This has been a great quarter for him and Kevin Young in the later stages of the third quarter.
A one-man defensive shutdown.
That he is.
And anger and tempers are flaring on the Windsor Express bench as looks like water has been tossed onto the court, and it looks like Kevin Loisel was got a little upset, and Loisel was taking the blame and said it was him as he slammed the water bottle, and water went in onto the court there as Coach Jones. Nothing to add. That's weird, or it's not really. Well, I'm trying to read his lips because he is the basketball whisperer in a good way. You got to give him respect, though. Coach of the Year, champion, Bill Jones. I love Bill Jones, man. I wish I was calling games for the Express because
he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
There's no dull moment.
Yeah, no.
He's kind of like the Popovich of this league.
He does well, and his halftime messaging is always great.
How is his halftime interviews? Are they kind of like Pop's?
No, he'll talk to you. Pop will shut you down.
He's gonna whisper you. He's gonna whisper in your ear.
He's gonna let you know.
DeAndre Thomas can't handle that lob there by Commons, but it's last touch by the Raymond.
Again,
and there'll be 4 seconds left on the shot clock here, and 14.4 on the game clock in the third. Express down by 14, 84-70. Here in the third quarter, Game 5 of the NBL Canada Championship.
Tyrone Watson is giving DeAndre Thomas a hard time down low, and I don't know if I would have said that prior to seeing it for myself.
Well, we talked about it, 6'5", 230 pounds. He's given up 70 pounds in 3 inches.
And you couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's DeAndre Thomas, 6'8", and a very physical presence inside that painted area.
Refs doing what they can to keep these guys in line.
But DeAndre is very quick for a big fella.
Great footwork. Fantastic footwork.
As we're trying to straighten things out here on the shot and score clock as it got reset back to 15.4 and 5 on the shot. Commons with the inbound. Lob to DeAndre. DeAndre spinning. The personal comes first, the foul on Watson. He's called for the hold.
You got to call that the level of contact that was going on in there. I know some are complaining that they want a travel call, but if there was a travel, definitely contact came first.
And I'm not sure what's on the shot clock now, as the shot clock is totally out. Nobody happens to notice what it is by either side, even the coaching staff or the officials, as we got 12.3, and I'm going to guess there's probably about 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Gibson, shot short. Come back the other way. Wide open breaker, layup, and a blocked. Return the sender there by Gary Gibson.
Athleticism.
Not giving up on the play, and excuse me, it wasn't a block. It looks like Clinkscales lost the handle on the way up, but you got to give it up to Gary Gibson with the great recovery defensively.
We're going to look at the replay here. It's not clear.
Shot's no good from beyond the arc by the Express, and a last-second heave after the buzzer by Watson.
Wow.
So after 3, the Rainmen lead 84-70 in Game 5 here at Scotiabank. A pivotal Game 5.
Very pivotal. And I'm impressed with the fact that, again, the Halifax Rainmen have maintained the lead. You're going to get that run. This basketball is a game of runs, as you know, Vince. And the Halifax Rainmen withstood the run by Windsor, and they've got a 14-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and from the home crowds that are jacked and excited, and I think they're in good standing. We'll see how this finishes off.
It looked like there for a moment that the Express were able to get this one under double digits, and basically the same deficit that they went into the locker room, they still remains after 12 minutes here in the third quarter, so it should be a very interesting fourth quarter.
Speaking of interesting, this Jell-O pudding pop or pudding contest, this looks interesting. Vince, why didn't they call us, man?
It's the NBL Canada.
Why did they call us?
There's a lot of in-game games that are basically thought up by the imagination, by the game ops. Is this something that you would probably see in Windsor? In between quarters?
They do well in Windsor, but I would dominate this competition. That little girl's doing well, but yeah, I would dominate.
I'm blaming it on the partner of the guy because he's not too enthusiastic in doing his job.
The other dude on the other end's not taking it seriously, man. Come on now. Eating pudding is a very serious job here. So what's going to happen to the leftover pudding?
I don't know, but they got to definitely make sure it doesn't hit any part of the court. That'll be mismanagement of game ops.
Janice is on it. She's going to make sure that does not happen.
Oh, well,
so I told you, she's on it.
We got some spillage there, but
she's on
taking care of it anyway.
Back to the game here. 84-70. The Halifax Rainmen got the. It doesn't take much to get a sidetrack.
Well, that's you. You're sidetracking. I was talking about the game, and then you're looking up at the screen. You see all this Jell-O.
But it was
Jell-O.
chocolate pudding.
Oh, it wasn't pudding pops though.
Well, not pudding pops. That was my bad. But anyhow, starting this fourth quarter, it's the last quarter of the year for the Halifax Rainmen fans. This is their opportunity to really stand out and support their club.
Yeah, the largest lead on the afternoon, 17 by the Rainmen. 14 now to start the fourth. Rainmen possession, nice give and go between Batman and Robin, Clinkscales and Young starting to assert himself into this game and into this championship round for the Rainmen, something that the Windsor Express have done a pretty good job of neutralizing. And they need to make sure they take care of and know where Kevin Young is on the court. Right now, the Rainmen got a very small lineup as they don't really have a bona fide big, as Young and Jermaine Daly are the two bigs. But on the other side, the Windsor Express are going with the same small lineup where Kurt Williams
is playing the center
Jr.
position.
would be the center.
Well, we'll see how
if
they
there is
exploit
such thing.
Not in this game, I'll tell you that. Not in this game, I'll tell you that. I'm going to use this as my opportunity to depart, Vince. It's been a pleasure as always.
Like
Thanks
always.
for taking up space here. I'm going to give Sean back to Mike. I'm going to go run around and do some more work.
Well, there you go. NBL Insider, thank you. Audley Stevenson getting back to work as Sean Ritchie joins me.
It's a little upsetting and almost offensive, Vince, that for 2 straight games, Audley wants to talk to you and not me. It's like he's avoiding my hard questions. Just before we get into the real swing of things here in the 4th quarter, just a couple of quick mentions. I want to say once again thank you to the Windsor Express fans joining us on the YouTube channel and to the NBL Canada fans, no matter where you are in the world. I know we've got a couple of fans watching in Kingston, Ontario, a town that's been connected to a lot of expansion rumors over the past couple seasons. As well, a big shout out to Jamie Cotterill. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. She was a Rainmen volunteer for a few seasons, an integral part to our game day operations team. Thanks so much for tuning in from Newfoundland. We really appreciate you having along for the broadcast. And I'm good. I've got my shout-outs out of the way.
Well, there you go. We
Spread
usually have that moment.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, one more.
Yeah, one more, okay.
Mitch and Kobe K, the boys from Windsor that do the call. Game 6 and possibly Game 7 going back to Windsor, Ontario. Tune into their YouTube stream. Those guys are fantastic, and they really added the atmosphere of the game. So now I'm all done.
Kevin Young now knocks down 1 of 2, and he has 6 on the afternoon. And a traveling call and turnover. It'll be Raymond basketball. 87-71, 11-18 left in the 4th quarter, Game 5. Both teams looking to go back to Windsor, up 3 games to 2 and 1 game closer to the crown. Young trying to take Williams off the dribble. Last touch by the Express will be Raymond possession. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Raymond starting the 4th with Fisher, Haywood, Young, Daly, and Clintscales. For the Express, Commons, Bennett, Williams Jr., Brown, and Anderson. And a turnover here, and stepped out of bounds on the side was the Raymond, and it'll be Express basketball. As Bennett controls the ball here for the Express. Hands it off to Brown. Anderson fires. Too strong, kicked around, and rebound by Williams, extending the possession.
Great job by Windsor not giving up that possession that easily.
Jumps.
Second opportunity, just can't fall for Quinnell Brown, though, as Haywood comes up court. And, great defensive play by Anderson, knocking out of the Haywood's hands.
Ryan Anderson getting back in defense there, transitioning. A thing that the Raymond have not had a luxury of, a lot of transition points, as the Express have done a pretty good job of taking care of that particular statistic. Haywood now. Hesitation. Haywood kicks it to Young. Young fires. Bang! Kevin Young heating up now, continuing the hot shooting in the second half. He has 9. Kirk Williams Jr. wide open underneath the basket. And a nice pass there by Tony Bennett. It's a 13-point lead now for the Rainmen. Shots no good there by the Rainmen. Express coming back the other way. Bennett, floater, kicked around, tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Joey Haywood, and will remain Express basketball. As Kirk Williams Jr. has 20 on the afternoon for the Express, continuing his outstanding offensive performance here at Scotiabank. Bennett trying to take Clintscales off the dribble, and he draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Clintscales' 3rd personal, 2nd team foul for the Raymond. Tony Bennett.
And so, Vince, the free throw line, obviously been a big point of pride for the Windsor Express the first couple of games. They're struggling a bit tonight. This afternoon, only going 28 for 41 right now, about 70% success rate from the line. Look at the Halifax Rainmen, shooting 82%. In a big Game 3 victory, they were above 80% from the free throw line. So.
Absolutely. Bennett, 7 for 9 from the charity stripe. Make that 8 for 10, as he has 14 on the afternoon. Kirk Williams Jr. went to the free throw line 23 times himself in Game 4, which is amazing, knocking down 17 of his 36 points.
And Kirk Williams Jr. having another great night this evening for the Windsor Express. He's got 20 points on the board. He also pulled down 5 rebounds for the team and an assist and a steal in there as well. So he's having a good complete game.
And a nice blow by and finish by Tony Bennett. He's able to split the defense. Bennett now has 16. Raymond have numbers back the other way. And Cayole driving the basket, and he's fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. All on the strength of that 5-on-4 coming back the other way. And Kirk Williams Jr. has 5, so the big moment now for Bill Jones in making a decision to allow Kirk Williams Jr. to continue in this game with 9:26 left. He has to make that decision. Does he sit him down for a couple of minutes and try to buy some time and go to his bench, maybe insert Kevin Loisel or DeAndre Thomas? He's probably thinking he really can't afford to at this moment right now.
No, I don't think so. The Windsor Express bench players haven't really been producing the way that you would expect them to in the championship series, especially here in Game 5. Loisel leading players off the bench for the Windsor Express right now with 9 points. So if he does have to sit Kirk Williams Jr., Coach Jones really needs to hope that his bench rises to the occasion and takes the challenge. Chris Cayole gets another 2.
So Bennett back the other way for the Express. He knocks down another layup, and then coming back the other way is Chris Cayole. So it's becoming the Chris Cayole and Tony Bennett show here.
Well, Chris Cayole with 26 points on the night. No, Kevin Young just gets shoved there by Chris Commons.
Oh my, and I can't believe they didn't call a technical foul on Chris Commons. We've seen this happen a few times where guys have taken, I don't want to say, they've taken a dive, but from this vantage point, Kevin Young went into the first row, and it didn't look like Chris Commons drew out a lot of contact there. So no technical on the Express as we continue to play here. 8:55 left in the fourth. Raymond still leading 94-78. Jumpers too strong by Brown. Rebound by Young. Clint-Scales comes back the other way. Clint-Scales wide open. Haywood. Haywood fire shot, no good. Rebound by Williams Jr. Williams Jr. back the other way. Express have numbers. Bennett blows the layup, but Brown gets the putback. He mishandles it, misses the shot, misses again. Good defensive stand there by Daly. Raymond back with numbers.
Halifax Rainmen really dodged bullet on that end. Kevin Young goes up for the offensive rebound, jumped a little bit too early, misses that. Go down the other way for the Windsor Express, and he just couldn't get a handle on it. So very lucky that Quinnell Brown couldn't put that away.
Yeah, Quinnell Brown just didn't get the handle on that wide open look. And a timeout on the floor. As you can see in the replay there as Haywood was fouled. Raymond had numbers coming back the other way as they dodged the bullet defensively on the other end.
And Vince, I don't know if you and Audley Stevenson talked about in the third quarter, but Eric Cruikshank of the St. John Millrats joining us here today at Scotiabank Center, taking in the Game 5 action. As the fans of the NBL Canada and Rainmen fans know, Cruikshank's a big part of the team in the early years. He played the first season with the team in the NBL Canada, took them to the finals, came within that one game of becoming champions, and his number 20 still hangs from the rafters here in the Scotiabank Center. So it's always great to have Eric Cruikshank and really any member of the league kind of come in here and take in the games. So thank you to him and his family for joining us.
Yeah, Eric Cruikshank was once a cornerstone for this Raymond franchise in its early beginnings. Since its existence, Cruikshank has been part of basketball in the Atlantic region in Canada. Coming from Los Angeles, it's Cruikshank. As I was told, a high school basketball phenom.
And now he's doing great with the St. John Millrats. I know they're very happy to have him as part of that organization. And hope to see him back next season. Not doing as well against the Rainmen, obviously, but
he's had some stellar games for the Millrats here at Scotiabank in some big moments. where they were able to capture some victories, much needed victories.
Just to
Crookshanks has.
Yeah, just talk about the Mill Rats for 2 seconds before we get back to the game. It'll be interesting to see if they make some changes in the offseason. They had a great first round series against the Island Storm. Came down to an unreal buzzer beater shot. To the fans that watch that, I don't have to explain it. It was one of the best games I've seen all season. So the St. John Mill Rats, a team on the cusp of greatness. I can only imagine they'll make some of the necessary changes, and we very well could see them as the Atlantic Division representatives in the NBL Canada Finals next season.
Absolutely. CEO and owner of the Mill Rats, Ian McCarthy, does an outstanding job of putting together a team trying to make a run for the championship, and that had to be an absolute heartbreaker as they battled back in that pivotal deciding game and to lose it that way. Anderson now kicks it out to Bennett. Bennett taking Clintscales off the window, too strong, and rebound by Kevin Young as Bennett reaches in and he'll pick up the personal. 7:53 left in the fourth. 94-78, Raymond lead. And that's Tony Bennett's fourth personal, and Gary Gibson will check back in for the Windsor Express. Clintscales crosses the timeline, closely guarded by Gibson. Clintscales still drives. Nice dish inside. On the doorstep was Tyrone Watson, and Watson drew the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Watson, an outstanding afternoon, a bounce back offensive performance for him.
Just
7 for
phenomenal.
14 from the field, 3 for 4 from the charity stripe. He makes the first.
Yeah, no other player on the floor right now is having as complete of a game as Tyrone Watson. You know, for both teams, 18 points right now, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block shot. This has been a big night for Hamilton's finest.
Puts the lead back up to 18. 96-78, the biggest lead of the afternoon for the Raymond. Loisel now trying to take Kevin Young off the dribble. Spin move, and he's called for too many steps as he tried to pick up the 5th personal on Kevin Young. Haywood drew the contact on DeAndre Thomas. Haywood continued to be aggressive, and he also has had a bounce-back performance this afternoon as well. Been very, very assertive in his offensive game, getting to the painted area. 7 for 7 from the charity stripe. Knocks down the first. And he remains 100%. He has 11 on the afternoon. 9 for 9 is Haywood. 10-point lead, the biggest bulge in the afternoon for the Raymond. Clintscales with the steal. Young in the open floor. Young, finger roll, no good. Rebound by Brown. Anderson coming back the other way. Tipped away by Clintscales. 2-on-2 for Haywood. Haywood, teardrops, good. Great decision there by Joey Haywood as it was 2-on-2. Him and Chris Cayole and the Express defenders. 22-point lead now for the Raymond. As DeAndre Thomas getting position on Tyrone Watson, and Watson had no choice but to bear hug the big fella in the painted area there.
And speaking of big fellas, Liam McMorrow checking back into the game. Seen a small amount of minutes from him, obviously the foul trouble in the first quarter. He'll be taking out Tyrone Watson, who gets a great reception from the fans. They know the hard work that he's putting here tonight to help their team have this big 22-100-78 lead right now with 6:38 remaining in the fourth quarter, game 5.
Watson with 19 points on the afternoon. Lee McMurrow in limited action. Just under 6 minutes played. 1 for 1 from the field with 2 points and 5 personals. Rebounds corralled by Cayole as DeAndre Thomas goes 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Haywood drives, counted, draws the contact, plays through the contact, and converts. Is Haywood.
I think Coach Pep should keep Joey Haywood out of the lineup for Game 6 because he's responding in a big way. 15 points on the night for Haywood. He doesn't look like he's done yet. 3 rebounds and 2 steals for Joey tonight. So it's pretty good numbers from a guy who's been slightly inconsistent in this final series.
Good scoring line for Joey Haywood. As you mentioned, he's definitely responding to not starting and in a reserve role this afternoon for the Rainmen. He converts and continues the hot shooting from the charity stripe. 16 and counting on the afternoon. Gibson, kick out, wide open jumper. Shot's too strong for Anderson. Rebound by Clintscale. Haywood in the open floor, and he is mauled by DeAndre Thomas, and no doubt a flagrant foul. Now, which one is it going to be? Flagrant 1 or flagrant 2? Flagrant 1 is a clear path foul and will give Joey Haywood an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws, and Rainmen will remain possession of the basketball, or 2, which is an automatic ejection from the game.
Well, that was a pretty obvious foul by DeAndre Thomas. Probably getting very frustrated. His team's in such a hole right now this late in the game, but you could have handled that a little bit better as the big man saunters off on the backcourt, shaking his head, taking in all the heckles from the Halifax fans.
There's enough of them here that are giving him the business, as Haywood will go to the line to shoot 2.
Joey Haywood misses his first from the line from this evening.
And he ends the streak from the free throw line. But he makes the second. So 6:11 left in the fourth. 104-79 for the Rainmen. Clintscales, wheeling, dealing, inside the paint, and draws the foul on Parham as he was able to draw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. Clintscales doing a good job handling the basketball this afternoon here for the Rainmen.
Yeah, this afternoon, Cliff Clintscales hasn't got onto the board in terms of points yet. He's looking to change that from the stripe. But he's been doing a lot of little things right for the Rainmen tonight, bringing them up court, setting the plays. He's got 6 assists on the evening, 2 steals. So some decent numbers from Cliff Clintscales. Not as big of an offensive output as I'm sure we would like, but Cliff knows he's got a different role with this team.
50% in the assist turnover ratio, and that's what you need from your point guard. You got to make sure you have more assists than turnovers, and he's taking care of the basketball. As he picks up the personal on Gary Gibson, so miscommunication defensively between him and Cayole there on this possession. And that's his 5th personal and 5th team foul for the Rainmen. Williams Jr., the Gibson, kicks it out to Ellis. Ellis thought about firing from beyond the arc, but turns it over as Clintscales gets his hand in a passing lane. Young, McMorrow gathers the youth. And a nice exchange between McMorrow and Young.
He almost lost his handle on it, but Liam McMorrow was able to convert what appeared to be a near miss into a surefire basket for the Rainmen. As Ellis with the pass to Parham, who wasn't where he needed to be.
An errant pass there by Ellis inside to Tim Parham. And Sayando checks in the game for Clintscales as Clintscales gets a good round of applause by the Rainmen faithful.
The only member of this team returning from the disastrous campaign last year when they went 11-29. Cliff Clintscales has definitely gone from from good to bad with his team, and it would be great for him to cap it off with a championship win.
Well, I tell you what, Joey Haywood has definitely gotten the message from Coach Claros, as he has 19 on the afternoon, and coming back the other way is Gary Gibson with a nice left-handed finish. Express with a lot of work to do here, as they were trying to steal this one here and go back to Windsor up 3-2, 110-81 with 4:55 left in the fourth. A huge mountain to climb for the Express. Ando misses the first. His first trip to the charity stripe this afternoon. 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 4 from beyond the arc. 7 points, Ando. Make it 8. He goes 1 for 2. 111-81. 30-point balls, the biggest lead in the afternoon for the Rainmen. Gibson. And he is pushed by Daly. And Jermaine Daly's third and the Raymond's 16th foul. Williams Jr. to Bennett. Williams can't get it to go at the rim as he was met by Daly. Raymond come back the other way. Nice behind the back spin move. Kicked out to a wide open three. Ando fires. Shots too strong. Kicked around. Kevin Young comes up with the rebound, but steps on the end line. And it'll be Express basketball. Nice individual ball handling there by King Handles. I guess you don't get a nickname King Handles for nothing if you can't back it up.
Joey Haywood always in the gym improving his form and his technique. He's a fantastic role model for young basketball players, not only in Canada, but especially right here in his home community of Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Nice finish there by Gary Gibson as he lost the handle momentarily, stayed with it, and was able to convert. And a tie up underneath the basket here between Daly and Parham. Possession arrow favor of the Windsor Express, so they get a stop here, but it might be a little too late with 4 minutes left. Raymond up huge, 28-point deficit for the Express. But this is the NBL, and you're about to tell us what.
No, you know, tonight I'm going to say, originally it was a bit of a hill to climb, but now it's become a mountain. Halifax in the second half really running away with it, and Kevin Young, big block there on Tim Parham. Chris Cayole comes down the other end, nets two, and it's just been that type of game. PJ Foster, Cliff Clinkscales on the sideline, getting Scotiabank faithful pumped up. This is the last home game of the year for the Halifax Rainmen, and what a way to send the fans home.
And make that 30 on the afternoon for Chris Cayole. Raymond with the luxury of a huge lead here in Game 5. But as I look around, another storyline is starting to develop, Sean, going into Game 6. As I'm looking down at the bench of the Raymond, and we haven't seen Nigel Spikes since the first quarter, and it looks like he's getting attended to. And it looks like he sustained some sort of either back or neck injury as the medical staff are applying ice.
Dagger-like three from Kevin Young.
And Kevin Young knocks down the triple.
Well, let's talk about Nigel Spikes for a minute. Game 4, towards the end, we saw him go down pretty hard in the fourth quarter. We didn't have a good vantage point on that. I saw some footage from a fan's mobile phone afterwards. Looked like he took a nasty elbow to the face, so he's sitting out as a precautionary measure here tonight in Game 5. Hope to see him back in the lineup for Game 6 in Windsor on Tuesday night. Nigel Spikes has been such a great addition late in the season for this Halifax.
A huge part of the reserves for Coach Claros is Nigel Spikes. His ability to defend and alter shots with his rim protection is huge defensively. And offensively, he gives a spark, being able to finish at the rim emphatically as well. So he's going to be needed in Game 6 if they're looking to close that one out up in Windsor on the road.
So Windsor now shooting 2 from the line. Gibson misses the first. Halifax a substantial 116-83 lead with 2:39 left. And I don't think any miracles are going to be happening here inside the Scotiabank Center, Vince.
Usually Mr. Optimistic. That's why I opened the floor to you. I was supposed to, turn the lights off, shut the show down. But I had to wait because I figured you were going to pull out no nights off slogan and give me that.
There's no nights off. It's very late in the game, absolutely. But, I mean, what a mountain to have to climb. And, Josh Collins checked Express. I think it was his first minutes of the series.
And you mentioned that in Game 3. It's like pretty much if he's coming in, it's Coach Jones is pretty much giving it up.
That's a knock. I don't want to knock Collins.
No, we're not talking about. He is a reserve.
He's a reserve, and he's going to get some playoff minutes now. Get kind of accustomed to the big game atmosphere, which is a good move from Coach Jones. Regroup the guys. There's a lot to work on for Game 6. When you look at the game tape, you look at the stats. The big thing, turnovers. The Windsor Express, it killed them 23 tonight.
Yeah.
You can't make those mistakes.
Well, they would have been playing with fire in the last 3 games here. Close to 20 turnovers in the last ball game with 17. Can't turn the ball over on the road, and you got to be able to defend and knock down free throws if you're going to steal games. A thing that they did pretty well in the other 2 categories in Game 4, when they were able to defeat the Rainmen 109-105. Kevin Young rejuvenated here in the second half. Will it carry over into Game 6 is the question. On the road in the tough confines in Windsor.
Center is a difficult place to win. During the regular season, Windsor
Express
only dropped 1 home game.
They win ball games at home.
That's impressive.
So we talk about that mountain. The Rainmen are in for a huge mountain to climb as they're able to try to steal 1 of 2
Absolutely.
to take this championship.
But they've done it before. They won Game 2 to start this series, so it's not something that they can't do. They know in the back of their minds that they can win there. So, a lot of positives for Halifax right now. They can't rest on their laurels because we remember a big 30-point win in Game 3. They came out not with a downpour of offense, Vince, but with a mild
they
spattering.
struggled. Yeah. They definitely struggled in Game 4 offensively, defensively as well. A lot of misassignments there in Game 4. McQueen tries his hand at the goal there, and he's rejected by Kevin Young as he met him at the rim. Foster handling the rock now. Foster gets the screen, loses the handle. Jamarcus Ellis, though, with Gibson on the dead run. Gives it to Parham, and Foster had no choice but to fall Parham. And Parham will go to the line to shoot 2. Parham in and out.
Tim Parham going 0 for 2 from the line. Said it before, we'll say it again. Just one of those nights for Windsor Express.
Foster now with the handoff. Fires from beyond the arc. Too strong. Putback's no good for Dalen. Rebound by Ellis. Ellis fires. Good. Nice jump shot there by Jamarcus Ellis. Little too late here for the Power this afternoon. Nice give and go there between Sayando and Kevin Young. As Ando rebounding from Game 4. As he struggled a little bit down the stretch in key moments, turning it over.
He didn't show the maturity that we've come to kind of expect from, say, Ando this season. He started off, he was a little bit, had to get used to Coach Pep's style. He really grew as a player. But yeah, definitely kind of a regression in terms of, say, Ando and his basketball maturity for Game 4. Nice to see him come out here tonight in Game 5 and have a more complete and confident game.
So 32.1 seconds left here in Game 5. The Rainmen will take a 3 games to lead, heading back to Windsor for Game 6. 1 game closer to the 2014-15 NBL Canada Championship. Foster knocks down the first. Knocks down the second. 123-86 now. Ellis shakes Watson, picks up and draws the contact on the drive, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Is Jamarcus Ellis.
So once again, for the Windsor Express, though, we see the bulk of the offense done tonight just by a select group of players. Kirk Williams Jr. leading all Express players with 20 points. Tony Bennett not far behind himself with 18. And Quinnell Brown, who's had a quiet second half, third in scoring with 11. So hopefully Coach Jones can make some adjustments heading into Game 6. Some of his other players can step up. They can really spread that offensive output around and get back in this series and send it to the decisive Game 7. And the fans now chanting as Halifax looks to wind down the shot clock. Kevin Young puts it away, 125-88. 4 seconds left. And what a way to send your hometown fans out. Last game of the season, the buzzer beater will do nothing. Halifax walks away, 125-88, 3 games to 2, Vince.
Coach Jones is not happy with the officiating here at Scotiabank as he's continuing to give it the business to the officials, the on-court officials here at the end of the game. But like you said, the result, the Rainmen go on, 125-91.
And just Vince, before we sign off real quick,
Shout
this
out.
is my last game calling for the Halifax Rainmen and for the NBL Canada. I'll be moving out to Calgary this summer. So I'll be a fan watching from along on the YouTube streams from now on. I want to say thank you very much, my friend, letting me join you late in the season and into the playoffs, calling the action. It's been a pleasure, and the privilege was all mine.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we can do this at some point down the road, maybe when that Calgary franchise gets underway.
Oh, there you go, expansion. Looking for expansion here. So that is the final here, the final game. 2014-15 season NBL Canada action. We'll go to the floor now and hear some closing remarks from the CEO, Andre Levinston. CEO and owner, Andre Levinson. So that's the final there, Sean. 125-91, final game here at Scotiabank for the 2014-15 season. Halifax Rainmen will go on the road to try to capture the championship in Windsor. So, for Sean Ritchie, I'm Vince Williams. It's been a marvelous season, and we will see you next year, or at least maybe I will see you next year here at Scotiabank for Rainmen Basketball on YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.